Yeah, welcome back. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. A bit of a been a while since I've done a live stream. I don't know how active, unfortunately, I'll be for the live stream coverage, but I got some time today, so I figured I'd jump in and watch. And we also have the update 199 to talk about. So looking forward to seeing how that plays out. For the match itself, we got a Nico Hill. We got 245 on the pop, 21 for the defending CSA versus 122 for the attacking Union. So we got Crazy here leading Union along with Ozzy, Womp, Pickle from 5th Minnesota, and Henkel and Benji on the guns. Got, doesn't look like the CSA Cav as an officer right now. Got Seattle from 53rd PA, and 15th Alabama guy, and a bunch of other folks here on the Arty. A bit of a down period. We'll see more people join later here. The match itself, the Union does have a, they've been able to, on their first try, take the top of the hill here, so just looking at a pretty damn good position to start from. So we will see how this goes. Man, oh man. So yeah, big news is we do have that update for the game 199. It's got a number of key things that have changed. The biggest is, as you can see, this is the test server, but they now have 400 player support. So the player cap has gone from 350 to 400. There's been a bunch of, I don't want to say cosmetic, but I guess I'll call it atmospheric changes. Some weather dynamics have shifted with the wind, clouds, rain, so good stuff like that. Some shadow changes. Changes on the wind now is a little bit more dynamic, so the wind doesn't always go to the one way. So kind of looking forward to that. Grass has been cut down. They did some other optimization. Gonna watch this attack here. I think the Union's gonna hold this pretty well.
Hold, boys. Keep shooting, boys. Keep shooting. Brace. Hold the left, boys. Hold the left. Keep shooting, boys. Keep shooting. Hold this line. Fill in these gaps. Get this line going. Hold.
Yep, so that first attack kind of fell apart. Shadow looks like he's going to try to come in, but again, they try to hit this through this fatal funnel here. One at a time. This is not going to end well for the CSA here. And that attack fell apart, not unsuspecting with that one. Yep, they're holding just fine. CSA is tickets are starting to plummet. As we got a bit of a second here, I guess we'll talk a little bit more about the update. So one of the big things with the update is now we have a new event that has been set up for the 1st of July. I'm not sure how long it'll last, but if I have to guess, it'll be 2 weeks. Maybe a little bit longer, we'll see. And it's going to be on the Revolutionary War. So I'm hoping that becomes a, in fact, I would highly suspect that this becomes a regular yearly event around this season. So it'll be red coats versus blue coats instead of the blue versus the gray. And be an interesting little event that'll come out. Not probably the event a lot of people were looking for, but I remember speculating when I was doing the analysis about a year ago on player count that these types of limited events drive, alongside sales, drive new members. And since the revenue for Campfire Games is exclusively new player sales, they're going to move towards that kind of a style. So if the only way you make money is if you get new players, you got to do things that get you new players and get people to buy the game. So that's going to be
You
on
live,
sales.
Kotow?
I am live.
God damn it, I'm at work. How long is your stream gonna last?
We'll see. We'll see. How you doing, Zach? By the way, you can come back later. I might still be on. It might be an early night, but if you're on, man, it'll be great. You know, always good to have you.
Yeah, I get off in 2 hours. I'm still at work for tonight.
Oh yeah, 2 hours might be a bit long, but
Damn it. What is Racer? What is fucking Joker texting me for?
I don't know. He might have a race. Yeah, Diffuse. It's I mean, as expensive as G Portal is, it's fucking ridiculous how expensive it is. Now, I am happy that with the 400, it's not getting more expensive with the servers, from what I understand. I do need to talk to some of the server hosts to make sure that the price tag hasn't changed, but those servers are so expensive. Now, they did talk about that key system, and for what I got with that, it would be an option for private hosting, so I don't know if Campfire Games intends to have its own privately serviced, servers, and maybe rent from them. I don't know. They haven't really talked about that system in any of the updates in quite some time, so. We will see, we will see. But yeah, no, it's only from new game sales. That's the only place they make money. There's no microtransactions, there's no season pass, no DLC. It's all new game sales, so. You know, I'm kind of excited to see it. I'll be unfortunately moving at exactly that time, so I'll probably catch the latter half of it. But yeah, I might miss that first weekend over the July 4th. As far as the map goes, you know, this is the problem on this map. If the Union gets set here, it's very tough to dig them out. The CSA is finding that out right now. They've been trying to focus at this right side. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that, as Diffuse as you say, it is about a K for a year for a 350 and now 400. And yeah, Campfire does not get a cut. But the problem is that's the only server that hosts is I forget the damn name of the thing, but the server G Portal. There we go. That's what it's called.
I guess I'll ask Kotow, as an event admin, while I'm on break for a little bit. What do you think of the new ticket balances?
Well, I haven't really seen enough to judge, unfortunately. I am kind of concerned that it was all defense. Universally was defense.
I noticed I saw some ones that I think were good, like Sewell's Ridge, Bolivar Heights Camp, but like, I'm just saying Piper Farm, Crossley Creek, Alexander Farm, those did not need defender buffs. Those needed attacker buffs, if anything.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why every single map was given all the maps that were bumped with defense bumps. It gets me a little bit nervous, as you say. Some of them, I think, especially on the drill camp, there's some maps that seemed already defender biased to me. So I'm not quite like River Crossing makes no sense to me. Why would you give that a defense bump?
Hopefully they'll eventually have to rebalance it back. Some of those maps are already defender biased. They do not need any more tickets.
No.
For defenders wise, yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Flag should definitely move a little bit.
Like, just the way Crossley Creek usually goes, I mean, as well as like Piper Farm, I'm a little worried to play him in campaign, I'm going to be honest, because attacking is going to suck.
It's not going to be fun.
Or needed double conquest.
Yeah, none of the, they didn't change any of the conquest boundaries either, which I'm a little upset about. But man, I'm sorry to hear that, Diffuse, man. Hope you're making some money at least, brother.
Yeah, I thought they were going to change more. They only changed, what, 2 map boundaries? Or Burnsides and Cooks?
Burnsides, Cooks, and High Street.
Flags out, hold the barn. Flags out, hold the
What did
barn.
they just add the high road? Staircase?
I know they changed the spawn locations, and I'm not. They mentioned the. I'll have to look and see if I have what they did to the boundary.
All right. I know, but I don't know. Burnside's a little sketch for me because now it's going to be sucky for Union trying to get across. You're probably just going to get gunned down. The second you get gunned down, they're just going to charge you.
Well, CSA and the map did reconquer their right side, which is good, but that's a hell of a cost. Alright, so now I got to pull it up here. So on Burnside's, so the Confederates can occupy their bank, which I've been asking for a long time, so that's good. Cooks push the CSA further back from Union spawn. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm really questioning because I'm a little worried Cooks is going to become like a super Union bias map because there's a 15% taking advantage to Union now, or 10 or 12 or something like that. Plus now the boundaries are more favoring Union than it was before, and the whole rifling update kind of changed the overall feel of it too.
Union already has been doing some pretty good shots from when I could see diffuse, so. In fact, I'm going to zoom over to them. Yeah, I just caught a bit of it. Just as soon as you said it, I was like, let me go over here and watch it. Yeah, they're hitting. But yeah, so let's see. So Cooks, yeah, 15% plus the boundary change, plus the rifle update. I don't know, man, about Cooks might have been... I mean, it was already getting tougher for the attacker. Now it's going to be, it might become a defender bias map. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't see Burnside is just going to seem so difficult for me now with the boundaries and the ticket advantage. Because now if Union just cross the bridge, they're going to get lit up, and the second they go down to the bottom to get their flag respawns, they're going to be able to get charged out now. So it's like, it's going to make it fucking terrible in my opinion.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree with you, Diffuse. That's Stonewall. You do not want to hang out there, on Nico's, as a CSA just hanging out. But yeah, no, it's. We'll see. I'm not sure. I am happy about Burnside, but even then, Burnside is now is going to. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it evolves. That was a nice shot by CSA.
Take that red bar.
I'm wondering. I think it would have been fine with the boundaries, but I think the 10% ticket advantage was a little unneeded. I think the boundaries would have probably made that map pretty even to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to do a... I would have preferred they do one or the other. You know, do the boundary and then the ticket advantage just to kind of see a little bit better, see how much it solves the problem. I mean, I've been asking for boundary changes for God knows how long. Same thing with ticket changes. Yeah, Union Infantry, the Arty can be a big piece of that map. Still, I'm not sure, man. We'll see. I especially did not like seeing a defense boost on a lot of these drill camp maps, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know, like Crossley, Alexander, and Fleming's, I was like, what? Some of the other ones I could kinda see, other ones I was like, that's not a good idea. I'm really wondering where they got their research from. Are they getting this from pubs or organized? Because, I mean, either one, it's going to be a whole different game for the other one, but that's...
Well, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but from what I've gathered, they don't like taking... I can understand the mentality is they don't like taking it from private events because private events have certain rules that are not organic to the game.
I don't know. It's very interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, by no means did we play perfect on Union Camp last ACC, but It was fucking hard, man. It was fucking hard. And now they're gonna get another ticket buff. Ooh.
Well, yeah, they only did a 3% change on Union Camp, so that one stayed pretty much the same. That one, Southwood Lot, both stayed about the same. Then all the others, well, then Larson's Homestead, and then all the others are 7.5. Like a 7.5 on Alexander Farm to me is nuts. That one was already one of those maps. I was like, no, that does not need that big of a bump. I don't even know that needs a bump at all.
I think Crossley Creek was almost perfect to begin with, and now it's like, what the fuck? But I guess I wouldn't say perfect. That map was kind of. I defended it both times, but frankly, I'm gonna lie. If I was an attacker, I'd fucking hate that map.
Yeah, it can be. It's a challenge, man. It's a challenge.
They should have changed the map boundaries on Crossley because there's a fence on the Union right, Confederate left. If you extend it out, man, I think that at least to make it a little more operable for Union to play from.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, there's a couple that again, Burnside was probably one of my higher priority ones, but and High Street too. But I have to see what they did with High Street. I'm not exactly sure based on reading that what it is.
Now, there's a lot of maps I think they could have extended boundaries on, like Hagerstown,
Hagerstown is one of the big ones. Waterways is probably one of the biggest ones for me. There's a bridge that's just outside of range. That if you put that in, you would have 2 crossing points, and that would make that map, I think, one of the best maps in the game.
It'd be a lot better, yeah. Because one crossing, if you either defend your crossing or attack from it, it's nothing else.
Yeah, I agree with you, Diffuse, right now. Waterways is cancer, but there's a second bridge that's just outside of range. Yeah, there you go, as is now. Yes, I agree. If we had a second crossing point and you had multiple... Because once you open up that second crossing point, it's actually on the other side of Progress Mill. And so then there's multiple crossing points you can defend against. And it becomes this, I think it become a really interesting... where do I hold? Where do I put my my defense at? And, I think it'd be a really cool map. But as is now, yeah, no, it just gets stuffed in that one ford. Pride Ford, essentially.
What I'm going to say, Wagon Road, what was it, 7.5, was fucking nuts, in my opinion. That was, I'm going to say, quite terrible.
Yeah, I think the drill camp, looking at it, that's the one they probably did the least amount of analysis on. I mean, yeah, it is kind of War Thunder camp spawning Diffuse.
I've never played defender side on that, but attacking, man, is like, you either go over an open field to the left, open field right, or go up the middle and get your ass crunched from both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, if you look at what they did, we got I'm looking at Antietam versus Drill Camp. It's either 3% or 7.5% on Drill Camp. Antietam is 7, 5, 12, 10, 15, 5, a lot of different. It seems like they did a lot more. And maybe they were happier with Drill Camp, but honestly, I don't know why they would be. It seems like they put a lot more attention on Antietam than they did on Drill Camp.
Yeah, I think 12% for Schoolhouse Ridge was pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, I think that'll make that map a lot more competitive. Accuracy update was helping for Union, but maybe that 12% will finally get it to the even side.
Yeah, no, I think that's one of the good ones. Schoolhouse 12%.
They should have did 12% for Union Camp. They only did 10.
Yeah, 5% for Boulevard. I kind of buy that. 10% for Camp. I buy that. Shenandoah, I haven't played enough in a long time to really know. Washington Street, 5%.
Shenandoah, that helped a lot. What was it, 5%?
8% for Shenandoah.
Should have made 10, but I mean, whatever. Anything helps at this point. Shenandoah is a piece of shit to try to defend on.
Yeah, it's not easy. I guess I agree with some of these. Garland stand, no. 5% on Garland's. I don't think the defenders need advantage. Now, Anderson's and Reno's? Yeah, I could buy that.
And 5% I think was good, because ever since the accuracy update, those maps have been getting closer.
And yeah, I agree, Diffuse, that the 12% on Schoolhouse is probably about right. Colquitt's 5%. I don't know if Colquitt's needed a change.
No, I don't think it did.
Go until you're dead or they're dead. When you die, spawn in, get to the bar.
I did see they made Westwood's 10%. That was, I think, a very good decision. Now to at least make Westwood's not complete dog shit for the Union.
Yeah, and again, I don't disagree with some of these changes at all. Again, I think some of them make a lot of sense. Miller's 7%, I could buy that. Eastwood's 12%, I could buy that. Bloody Lane, I could buy that. Nico, I don't know about Nico 5%.
Keep moving. You have to keep moving.
I think it was actually good where it was at. It seemed to be going both ways.
Yeah. Dunker 10%, I could change. Yeah, it might be different on Diffuse. It might be different on pubs that are making it worse. Piper Farm 12%. No way do I think you need 12% on Piper.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts, man. Piper is already becoming like one of the most CSA defense bias maps. And I'm like, God, that makes Stimmy fucking terrible.
Spread out, guys. Spread out. Spread out.
I mean, the new CSA meta for that map, I don't. At some point, someone will break the code, but that code is fucking good. And now,
yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty aggressive defense, but now it's going to be even more aggressive a defense.
Yeah, you're gonna be really pushing up now as the CSA. You're gonna be taking a lot of risks.
All right.
Otto and Sherrick 10%.
Keep it up. Just keep it up.
I think I might have been more happy with the 5%. I don't know about 10%.
That's fine. That's what we wanted.
5, I think it was all right. All the games I played, all the games I played, it seems to be going all right.
All right. You did good. You did good.
It's usually a Union favorite, but I think 5% would be the best. Not what they do, 7 or 10.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit too much. We'll see.
I know Kilroy said something. Are we gonna? We might want to test these out, but are we gonna ban any of these new maps? Because some of these ticket advantages might be straight up pain in the ass.
I kind of don't want to. We already have several of these banned. I'm willing to have that discussion, but I don't want to like. We've already, it's already getting kind of late into the year. I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, what comes to mind, obviously, other than that, we didn't ban like Flemings. Those were when Union won the last time. They had to play their fucking heart out. I think we made a couple mistakes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to ban a map unless it's completely, unreasonable.
7% seems a little bit much. If they did maybe 2, I think 3, 4, 5. Anything above that, I think it's pushing it. Like Crossley, fucking what was it, 7? That's no. Union needs a buff on that one. I haven't played most of the other maps, so I don't know what to say about some of those.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little weird. But again, I don't want to delay the campaign. It's already, he took a month off. We're probably gonna have to take off. Probably gonna take off July 4th. In fact, I know we're taking off July 4th. So it's how long are we gonna keep the campaign off? It's not like in the winter time where it's like, okay, we can take a month off and it's fine. And 2 weeks of testing, even a week of testing, 2 weeks of testing is not going to give us any more of a feeling. It's not enough time to do enough of these maps.
I don't know, man. I don't want to have to go watch pubs to think how it's going to be or new strategies, but unfortunately it's looking that way.
I mean, pubs gives you some ideas,
I mean, that new Hagerstown strat right before this update came out, I watched them try to do it on pubs and they got their ass handed to them. I was like, what the fuck? That strat seemed like almost foolproof, but they really they fucked that up pretty bad.
I mean, you could fuck up any strat if you don't know how to do it. You just people don't listen. You know? These tend to be the problem on pubs.
Now, have you played the new rifles, Kotow? What do you think of those? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like how far back I am on the sights.
No, I haven't really played them that much. So I couldn't really tell you.
They're like, you're kind of far back now. I'm gonna be honest, it's hard to shoot. It's hard to see, man.
Well, I mean, that might be a good debuff from how accurate they are now.
I could see it. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say counter-reversing rifling. That's obviously not counter-reversing, but it'll make it a little more manageable because now user skill is now going to be pretty important to actually be able to see through your fucking sight.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not too, we'll see how the campaign goes. I guess my main fear right now is people are going to get very, hesitant to attack now. It's kind of the opposite problem we used to have. People were never thinking about defense. It was like, oh, well, I'm an advantage if I attack. You know, which, you know, was fine, you know, it just, you know, didn't lead to that much interesting things on the board. But now everybody's like, okay, I'm afraid to attack. It could lead to very static play on the board.
Like, I don't know. I think this campaign, I'm going to be honest, it's going to feel like a defensive campaign. It's like, do I really want to attack? Because most of these maps are now, like, becoming super, if not at least a little bit defender bias. I'm going to be like, I'm going to rethink it, you know?
Yeah, it might be you set yourself in a position and hoping they attack you type of thing.
I swear to God, we better not go World War I, build artillery forts all over the place. 'Cause I can already see it happening.
Well, I mean, that's a strat you can do. Again, that's kind of my fear is that they'll kind of default to that, unfortunately, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't know, because, like, attacking used to be a little too, like, attacking seemed so good a while ago, and the meta's kind of changed, we're evened out, and now I feel like it's turning into defender bias. I'm like, I'd rather have it stay middle.
Well, that's what you're hoping is that it's middle, you know.
I mean, they're also not thinking about a campaign overall either.
No, again,
Their
concern is pubs. They don't really, you know, concern themselves with private events as far as the game design goes. Again, it's fine. I'm not, you know, opposed to it, but.
All right, well, thanks for having me, Coach. I got to get back to work.
Yep, no, good luck with work, man.
If you're still on at 9, I'll see you then.
Yep, have a good one. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at this this charge here for the Union. I tell you, already is it's been fun to watch this match. Wonder if the fuse is on here. Yep, there. Oh, he's spectating. I was like, is the fuse on the guns? Yeah, I don't think Union's going to break through this time. We'll see. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get on the guns, but you know. Oh, yeah. It happens.
Rally on the fence. Rally on the fence. Rally on the fence.
Go. Take that stone wall. Take that stone wall, boys.
Rally on the fence. Rally on the fence, boys.
Let's get zoom out here for a little bit. Oh, they're still going. All right, let's. Like the CSA is trying to push the Union forward, which is probably not a bad idea. Actually, I'd probably charge this out here if I was the CSA. Try to get the Union close to, or as close as I can get them down to last stand. Not last stand, final push. Jesus Christ. I would not want to come out here and be already bait, I don't think. Yeah, this trickle charge will work well for the CSA. Get them close to last stand. Final push here. Jesus, did it again. Oh, are they starting? I mean, they've been shooting a lot. So I'm not surprised it's starting to run low. I wouldn't hang out here, though, to be honest with you. Guess I'm worried about losing point, but fuck me. That was a Union. I just sit back and shoot for the next 4 minutes here. Try to get you onto the last stand and blow the hell out of the stone wall. Oh, the Napoleons are out? Gotcha. Well, when these poor bastards to hell. Oof. Is that some canister coming in? Pop jumped up nicely. Oh! The Union line just got hit. That was a hell of a shot. Nice chunk out of that wall. Union's getting some hits too. Yeah, I think CSA's got this. He's just getting too broken up here, although we'll see. This is going to be a big charge here. See if they can punch in from this side. Got another force is kind of decoy over there.
They're rotating. We got it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, do you think so? I didn't notice that in the patch notes, but they might have. Sometimes they do changes that don't tell us, which is mildly annoying. You know, you tell me every time you change something in the drill camp as far as a goddamn visual thing, and but you know. Oh yeah, we changed how arty functions on targets.
Behind the barn. Behind the barn.
Get behind the barn.
Yep. Seems like it almost always is, which is always annoying. So the Union is on final push and is going behind the barn, maybe trying to get their numbers up before going in. Now they do have a...
Everybody follow me.
Okay, yep. Here's Womp Womp. He's going to try to, I guess, attack up from this angle. Might not be a bad idea. Let's see.
We're gonna wipe them out. Let's go. Do not
Spawn
stop.
main, nothing can go from spawn.
Stay moving to intercept. Not a bad idea. Keep them off point.
Get in. Get the flag, You're mine, boy. Yes, it's mine. Yes, it's mine, come here.
Oh, did it? Huh. Get the charge come out. Again, not a bad idea. Keep them off point. Yeah, it does seem to be punching through a bit more now. So you say we'll hit last stand, but they are doing just fine. And they will easily win this match. There we go. Well, a pretty arty heavy map. That's always fun to see. Well, it is the last stand final push, but really the CSA, I mean, they did lose it early on, that point over there. They got really behind on tickets, but they were able to get it back without too much difficulty. Oh, nice. So yeah, we'll see. Watch at least one more, maybe two, depending on how long they are. Now we got a. It was kind of a low pop to start with, and it built up. So at 341 right now, not quite that full 400, but getting closer. We'll see how it is, and people getting off of work and coming in now. So. See. Bloody Lane goes. Got a couple people coming in now. Might have lost some as they were changing maps here. This one had a, what was this one's? Dibs. Get it. Get after it, Diffuse. Let's see, so Bloody Lane is a 10% increase for defenders. Let's see who we got. Let's see, Union, we got John Brown. We got Crazy again. We got Womp Womp. Got, I don't know who that is. Let's see, then we've got Pies. We got Chungus from 12th VA. Shadow again from the 53rd, and then Ryder, the AVC. And then we got Ruthless there on the guns. Let's see. There's the Fuse. Let's go check in on him. There he is. Getting that gun in position, moving it over here. Get a better line of sight. Yep, Pop hasn't jumped back up yet. They did turn the rain on, which is interesting. I don't see any of the devs in here, so I don't know who's got admin. The rain is on. So we'll see how the new atmospherics are for this rain. See, so CSA again, kind of doing the standard split up here. Union kind of going for split up as well.
Aim at him. You see him moving. Aim, and fire.
Ah, maybe.
Pull back. Great.
They got us.
Sir, casualties are extreme.
Incoming!
That's a few casualties. I'm being right here worried, yeah. This is a very good spot for Diffuse to hit you. Still getting the cannon up there. Looks like they might be trying a CSA left push up here. We got Crazy and Womp.
I was just fucking looking for revenue.
Flag, you will stay halfway down the hill as people spawn in. Just tell them to bayonet and get up there.
Copy.
Everyone else will charge until you are dead or they are dead. You will not reload under any circumstance. It's whether we take that road or we all die trying to do it.
I'm reloading.
Alright, well, good guidance from, I think that was Womp Womp there. CSA, though, looks like they're ready for him. Here comes Chungus from 12th VA, and he's got good support here from Ryder. Now, Union might actually benefit. Actually, Chungus is a little bit... It's kind of far forward here. I think he might be caught out here by this charge. He's not even looking at it. And now he's figured it out. This might work out very well for the Union team here. It's going to be up to Ryder here to try to stem the tide. So do I agree with a 10% change on this map? I think I do. I think this one might 10% might be the right number. This was winnable for the defender, but it was always tough. I think the 10% change might be
69th. Follow me right. Let's go. 69th. Follow me to the right. Go.
about right.
Go.
John Brown is trying to get the troops over to the right. Anytime we have a counterattack here by Shadow, that's going to close up on. That'll probably kill this element down here. I don't think this will be sustainable. They'll do a decent amount of ticket damage.
Come on. It's the only chance you guys got. Come on.
He says you guys as if he's not there with him.
I don't think there's enough of us here.
Guys, you gotta hold. guys. Get the flag. Like, just run back. Run back. Son of a bitch. Why did y'all not fucking move?
Get the flag!
Shit, get the flag out. Fuck.
Flag!
Oh shit.
So there's the end of that attack. But Union, on the other hand, did take the corner. So that's not a bad little trade. And tickets are not looking bad either. So we will see. We will see. Yeah, Union is wisely flooding in to secure this side here, so it's kind of the classic Union strat. See how the ticket change might affect it. Yeah, Pop is still down. Check on Diffuse, see how he's doing. Is it already in place yet? Oh, while he's doing that, looks like we got a forward attack by the CSA.
I'm giving you
Which I'm not so sure about. It's a nice arty shot. Comes the main CSA attack here. Looks like it's on this corner. I don't think it's got enough strength, though.
Killed a random in the corner. That was fun.
Well, they held. CSA is a bit too spread out here with this kind of full line here. Another forward movement, this time by Ryder. I'm not sure how successful it's. This is too much of a broad front, I think. Need to be a little bit more concentrated in their objective here. He's doing some damage, don't get me wrong. Maybe it will be enough. Ooh, nice arty shot. Yeah, these guys, I'm surprised, aren't coming down to hit Ryder. They're kind of distracted with this force all the way back here. This isn't your problem right now. This is your problem if you're these guys. So you can support. You see, they've actually knocked out that centerpiece there. See, the CSA can push. Looks like Pies is going to try to take a flanking maneuver. At least get them to change their angle, maybe give an opening for these guys.
Hey, we
Okay, you're good. You're good. Never mind. Get back. You're good.
Both teams are engaged at 34-36. So about even on tickets, which is definitely in favor of the attacker. But yeah, these guys are all isolated here. These guys are not in a position to support them. Looks like John Brown is moving down now to try to give them some help. Just as the CSA launches their attack, though. Yeah, Pies was able to outflank him and get two 2 flags down there. Oh, good evening.
Yeah, I forgot.
I figured you were defending democracy or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm like, what's today? Oh, it's 5. What's going on there? That's weird. Oh, yeah.
The thing we talked about.
Yeah. Listen, man, reminder,
I have enough respect for my peers to, give them notice and assume that they are capable of acting without me as a alarm clock for them.
Well, that's not fucking true, number one. Okay, that's not true. We can't keep people even show up to coordination on time.
Which part
okay?
isn't true?
All of it. You can't expect people to remember anything at all, anytime. Okay? That's just the way it is. I don't make the rules. I need help sometimes.
Are you good? I wasn't gonna bother you.
Well, how'd it go?
Well, so, anyway, that's, Mr. Hood, or Mr. Prophet.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you've been live this whole time, just so you know. You're fine, though.
Oh, well, everything I said is true.
Indeed. So, he did, if you guys watched the video that, Cody put out, he was that team leader, or I guess unit leader, that the, devs were a part of.
That was indeed. A pleasure having him. Wish I knew what was happening at all.
You know.
Oh man.
So watching a bit of a bloody lane right now. Nothing too crazy on it, but I kind of already said my piece. But why'd Hyde bury the lead here? What are your thoughts, good sir, on the update? Any piece you want to discuss, or all of it, in whatever order?
I mean, the ticket chains are probably okay for some maps. I wish they were paying more attention to the reality of something, because there's some pretty egregious ones that, I mean, frankly, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to find out probably aren't going to be fun to play on. Like, again, River Crossing's insane. Garland Stand's pretty bad. McBeam's Hill's bad. A lot of these maps already had, since the actual update, had defensive buffs by default, right? So we won what's that map? Cook Countercharge, which is usually pretty rarely won, at least in organized events. We won it for the first time, mainly the actual update being just so fucking aggressive that you could kill anybody in open fields. And they gave that map 15% extra tickets for the defenders, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
And changed the boundaries to be more in favor of the Union.
Yeah, so I don't really know how the CSA is gonna win that map. It was definitely rough, and you could, if he did any of the one things, maybe it would have been fine. I think all at once that map's probably gonna suck to attack on. I just think they needed more time to maybe, I don't know, play test some of their stuff, because I don't really know where they're getting their data from. I assume it's from pops.
Double quick right.
At least unless they can say otherwise. But I guess there's so many other weird factors about pubs, you can't really tell if a map's balanced or not. That's not how you do it. There's so many weird shit going on, and people running off getting killed and doing all kinds, people not being smart enough and not playing together. So you can't gauge that as if the map balanced. Because when you get an organized play, which again I'm going to reiterate, is most of the people playing this game, it fucks everything up.
So this is what the guys are talking about.
Oh, Mr. Vilcon, how are you, good sir?
Hey, there he is.
I just saw you guys, the little thing pop up. I'm like, what they're doing.
Oh, you are live too, just as a heads up.
Oh, cool. Hey, what's up?
Mr. Vilcon from the illustrious MWB. So what are your viewpoints, Mr. Vilcon, on the, we'll just stick with the defense buffs, I think we'll just call it, to the maps.
I agree with Hood.
Take aim.
All right.
A dangerous proposition, but,
Dangerous? Listen,
Not
man.
this case around. No, I agree with them, though, that they're basing it off pubs. It's a little screws it up.
I think they, I'll be honest, I think the wider issue here is I don't think they're not very good at communicating with their player base at all. No one knows what's happening ever. It's like every update is a complete random thing that you can't guess on what it's going to be about. It doesn't feel like it's moving the game forward, almost ever. It's like, oh, it's a random change yet to fuck with the balance somehow.
Well, we knew the balance was that was coming. That was kind of hinted at, that they were going to change the balances a little bit.
I heard map boundaries were the only thing they're going to change. That was the hint I heard, but that's all rumor stuff.
Yeah, I mean, true, it is all rumors, so, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay. You know, I saw a dev say something in a Discord vaguely implying such and such. It's in a general chat, you know, it's like, okay.
From what I understand, they've only changed the map boundaries on 2 maps, right? It's Burnside Bridge and Cooks?
It's Burnside's, Cooks, and High Street.
High Street. Oh, that kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was hoping for more like a comprehensive boundary change. I wanted every map to get a little wider. Would be nice. Like, I don't know. It seems like they just decide to do things for the sake of doing them more than that it needs to be done. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Look at that, like a professional streamer and everything, man.
Professional streamer. Yeah, dude, it's just fucking weird. Like, I don't really think... Like, it's not... Defensive tickets aren't bad in themselves. I just wish there was, like... It was more well done. It's like a blanket thing. It's like when they added 20% tickets to every map to compensate for the fucking 5-second spawn timer kill stuff. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's... You kind of have to anticipate that, right? And it was kind of like a stopgap measure. I don't think it really fixed the main issue with that. They fixed it now I've been over a year now with the accuracy buff being increased, which, if you recall, when we said initially that making the 5-second spawn timers a thing was going to cause a charge-happy meta, no one believed us, or like a lot of people were very vocally against that, and now they changed the accuracy, but the same people were saying, yeah, kill the charge meta. So
well, you know,
like they do things to counter themselves.
It's almost as if you operate without any memory. Just, you know, whatever's in you at the moment and whatever justifies your position at the moment. It's funny how things operate that way.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know if they even... I don't know if they care.
I picked from sitting in a lunchroom at break, and somebody just comes up with an idea. Hey, let's try this.
See my nameplate.
Yeah, I mean, from their own, the little bits they do give you, it seems they're completely fucking, it's random what they decide is important based on whatever again, like the 5-second spawn timer was done, and this is from Trust, he said, because he heard 2 pub people talking about it sucks being dead for so long, so we changed the whole fucking core gameplay about it. That seems weird to me, when you have people in the community asking for a lot of shit, that's easier to do and not as a big of a fucking deal, and they don't get it, right? Server controls, no, can't have that, won't do it. Okay. You guys gonna make any new maps ever? No, we can't do that. It won't get more players in the game. By the way, we're doing the Revolutionary War. Okay.
For 2 weeks.
Is there any
for 2 weeks.
Sure, but whatever. It does like. I don't know who's asking for that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's cool. I don't hate it. I just wish there was more other things being done that made more sense and was making the game feel like it's going somewhere. I wouldn't feel bad about it. But to everybody else, a lot of people are annoyed. It feels like it's a waste. You only get like a couple updates every 6 fucking months, right? And this feels like a waste of one because nobody really, like, it's cool, but nobody asked for it. And it's only gonna be for 2 fucking weeks. And the other stuff you did, the ticket changes, are in some cases detrimental. Like, they're just gonna be bad for some maps. Like, Piper Farm didn't need a 12% buff to defenders, man. That's already a pretty hard map to you can fuck that up. I would say it's a very balanced map. Yeah. And now it's gonna be just hard as fuck to play on and not as enjoyable. They need better communication. And I don't know why they're so resistant to the idea of like telling people what they're working on and setting goals for like the year or something, what they plan to put out. No one, like every other game does this, for fuck's sake.
No, it is not a mystery. You know, it's not a hard thing to do. It's like you said, almost every other game I play has a development roadmap. It changes. Hey, you know, if something happens, like, hey, look, this ain't happening no more. Hey, we're gonna focus on this now.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's not, again, if you did that, I don't think anyone would be mad about it. I think people get mad every update because it seems completely arbitrary and random, and no one, like, the last thing they said they were gonna work on was that what was it, in-game company tool and server tokens? That was a year and a half ago.
Well, you know, it's
And now like the next update was like, hey, we can wade in water now. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we changed the accuracy.
Yeah, I saw
What
something in the
thing you
update
said?
about the tokens, but I didn't quite see what it was. You know, again, it's a small thing, nothing major. But again, that was a development update, but you know, nothing major to it.
I don't know. You think after every time you put an update out, there's like backlash about it. Maybe you should change the way you fucking are operating. But they don't. I don't know. I don't like the fucking like. I'm not one of the guys that wants to complain every time something comes out. But a lot of times I think they like. I didn't mind the accuracy update being better. I think they made it too much. They didn't play test it. They didn't test it at all. They just put it out there. And I still think it's affected the game negatively. And I think they compensated for it without admitting it by changing the sites are harder to use and there's more sway right now. That's an update they changed, and people are mad about it and they complain about that. But it's like, okay, so you've acknowledged there was a problem, but without acknowledging it, you could just set the accuracy lower, like was suggested. But I don't think they'll do it out of spite, because people were complaining about it. I think they tried to mitigate it by doing this other change of making the sites harder to fucking use and making a little more weapon sway. Which, again, to me is fine. I think it's better, but it seems extremely petty to not acknowledge the issue of you put it too fucking high in the first place. Because what else would you make it harder to aim and to have more weapon sway, right? If you don't be able to hit as often, there's no other reason to do it. It's not. You can't say it's historical accuracy. It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's the fucking window 100 times. So the devs just seem very combative, frankly, to any like suggestions or input on their stuff, and it breeds animosity over most of the community.
Well, I mean, if I don't know how much your view is on it, but either Velcano Hood or hey Painter, what's going on? By the way, you're live, Painter. If you did, I'm live streaming, just so you know. Oh, okay, good. You and the CCP, you know, so you're in good company there. Yeah, it's a lovely place. The May 4th movement happened there, nothing else. 1919, not 1989. But yeah, I mean, if they had just said the weapon sway, hey, look, it's adjusting, would you have been fine with it? Been like, hey, look, they said, hey, this is our way to readjust it, or would you?
This is not the situation we wanted, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if they explained it, but like it's like they're too ashamed to admit it. Like, why else would they? They didn't explain why they did it. Like, why? The only reason is the guns are too accurate, which they were, and we said they were, and we got downvoted the hell about it because fucking people on Discord are ravenous. They're extremely fucking, you know, defensive on any criticism, and you know, like. It's not like we're making it up. It was making the game worse. It made it very hard to attack over any amount of open ground. It made independent fire and cover supreme. And if you're talking about a Civil War game, I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. It's accurate sometimes, but fucking making lines is a gamble. You only make a line, the other guys make a line. And if you're defending, you don't really need to make a line often. You can, if you depends on the map, I guess. But if you have cover, sit in there and shoot. There's no reason not to do it. They mess up, do an attack, a charge, you can just fucking kill them before they get to you. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. I don't know why they don't tell people what they're working on, why they're working on it, like what's the next step. There's no sense of forward progression. It seems like a bunch of random side shit. The game never seems to get anywhere. There's never like new maps. There's not like new. I don't know anything really. It's just all like little tweaks and changes of stuff.
But it's like I said, it's almost like they sit in the lunchroom and they just come up with ideas. Hey, let's implement that. Now let's try this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I'm glad they have like they hired 2 new people, but I don't know. Letting the first thing one of them does is to put out a Revolutionary War thing, which again takes time. That took time, and when they paid him, it took. People were telling me, "Oh, it's one guy." It's so what? They paid him to do it. I'm not saying it's bad work, but that's models and animations and all this stuff that they had to spend time on. At least a month. There's no way you can get around
it's sad, and
like
from
that.
what I understand, the muskets are going to be, you got, you know, separate animations for the muskets, separate calc for the muskets.
Yeah.
Maps too?
No new maps.
I don't believe it. Yeah, Diffuse, I would take a map editor. You know.
They said they were going to do that years ago, and they haven't. There's no word on it.
Well, it was going to be.
I don't think they want to do it. I think if they did it, if they had mod tools released, I think they would get upstage. It's the only thing I can think of why you would be reluctant to do that, because this Revolutionary War thing could have been a fucking mod, easy, and it would have been fine. Making it a full update where you pay it people to do it seems like a waste of time when nothing else ever seems to get done. That's why people are annoyed about it. It's not because it itself is bad. I think it's fucking cool. I really like the Revolutionary War. I think making a Revolutionary War thing in a game, a modern game, is huge. The problem is it's only 2 fucking weeks and there's nothing else with it. It's just 2 uniforms, 3 hats, and a flintlock, and then for 2 weeks, and that's what get people to buy the game. Even though that's like, are they going to buy the game for the Revolutionary War and then stick around with Civil War? Like, why? That's kind of a weird.
Well, but the question is, does that matter to them?
I don't fucking know. I guess not.
Because their revenue stream is only one way.
That's true.
Purchase. That's it.
Yeah, but I wonder how much refunds you're going to get out of that, right? Like.
Well, I mean, if you're playing for, was it 30 hours? Or how many? I forget how many. 5 hours?
Yeah, average something like 5 to 10 hours.
You'll probably get that out of an event.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It seems shitty to fucking just keep trying to suck in new people instead of trying to appease the people that have been playing the game for years, because they'll get people in, man. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily need to always fucking rely on new people that you kind of trick in with some flashy event and a sale, right? If you give people what they want in the community, it can do it itself, and it can promote the game on your own. You have people making videos on the game. Most people, and I think in their last little, whatever, there's like campfire talk where the fuck, I think Bradley mentions that he got into the game because of a General Cody video who's now on staff. And I'm like, yeah, nobody makes videos about this game anymore because it's full of first of all, it's a little stagnant, and if you go on a pub server, you're full of fucking racists.
Man,
you can't listen to slurs.
I'll be honest, that's the big thing for you. I got CSA muted right now, but yeah, I don't monetize these videos because, yeah, it's just not worth it, and that's why you're never gonna get any streamers to really focus in on this game.
No, I mean, when it was new, a lot of it came out of it. That's how I got interested in the game. I got interested based on YouTube videos.
Well, you had guys like Pixelated. You had Apollo.
Pixelated Apollo.
Yeah, you had Angry Joe play the game, and then you got harassed off of it.
Even this one guy recently, somebody made a fucking video related to war rights. It's a guy called Slorgs, and he made a video about like. This line system in War Rights, where you can draw lines and stuff, is super fucking cool. That's a really unique thing. It should be another game. He plays squad and stuff. And so he's like, oh, they should do this. And he played it, and he couldn't even. He had to comment too. Well, there's racial slurs all the time. I got to be careful about playing on CSA because they're saying slurs all the time. He shows an example of him bleeding people out. He's just standing around, and people are fucking screaming that shit. And so you're not getting people to fucking make any videos that are gonna keep anybody super interested in this long term without this shit. So trying to get new people in doesn't mean anything if they don't stay around. You'll make some short-term money, but long-term the game stays stagnant. The same amount of people. You can take the Steam charts. They're not growing because nobody sticks around. If they stick around, they join a regiment. If they don't get scared off by fucking the slurs or the pubs or this toxic community as a whole, it's just fucking weird, dude. And I don't understand their business model.
Yeah, I've been waiting to make that video, and I'll probably wait until after I move on the update as to where the game is at currently. It's pop. Long and short of it is, it's stagnant.
It's perfectly fucking stagnant.
Yeah, we're below. We're not like super below, but we are consistently below month over month where we were last year.
Yeah.
It's not a collapse. It's not collapsing by any means, but it's below, and that's stagnant. You're not, that's the definition of stagnant. You're not growing.
Yeah.
And you're slightly, shrinking.
Very slowly. I mean, there's some months where it gets a little better, but it's never much. It's like 50 or something.
I don't think. I'll have to look at it, but I'm fairly confident this year we have not, at any month, beat the player pop for any month from last year. Month on month.
It depends on the Steam chart. I think.
Not on the Steam chart, but on the player count, on the average player count. Not on the.
The average, not the peak.
The peak. If you can't go by peak, because peak is like okay, the 500, the 500 server.
Yeah.
That's great, but then nobody played for the rest of the month, which no one did. for that month. What does that mean? It doesn't mean shit.
Yeah. No, well, in that case, yes, you are correct. We have not. The average is about the same, if not a little lower. The highest so far is March is 256, according to the Steam charts, and March of last year it was 270. So that's as high as we've gotten this year so far. So I mean, obviously it's not actually making the game any better. You know what I mean?
And how are you, Mr. Brisby?
I'm doing all right. I didn't know what was going on here. I just saw a bunch of people and felt like I should come in and say what's up.
Oh.
Didn't know if my services were needed or nothing. So.
Well, you are live right now. If you had any thoughts on the update that if you want to.
If I'm being 110% honest of how I feel about the update, I'll be real with you. Kotow, I haven't played it yet, but I don't know. Reading it. I mean, it seems like the logical next step. I mean, we've been waiting for 400-man servers for a hot minute. I mean, they flexed real hard with that 500-man situation. So at that point, it was like, when is this coming? I'm a little miffed that we're getting a 4th of July special event before we get horses. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I'm not like everybody else who plays this game. I'm fully aware that horses probably are never coming. But like in my heart,
a restructure of some type.
Oh yeah, no. Well, so take it from a technology standpoint. All right, AI is the problem, and part of the zombie night mode, whatever the hell it was called, the whole purpose of that was to train AI, and it was supposed to monitor and track how the AI would respond to different things and move around people and everything else. They were going to use that information to then build AI of their own. They said it was for horses solely. Obviously, that's not the case because they talked about AI troop movement with this new special event thing. I mean, I have this weird feeling eventually this is going to kind of turn into a new game mode where it's, you know what, fuck you, Hood, I'm going to fight you. Oh, I'm sorry, am I supposed to cuss? My bad. Hey, Hood, I'm going to fight you. Let's duke it out right now. Your army versus my army. And instead of, my regiment versus your regiment kind of thing.
The commander mode, the funk mode, which I think would be just horrible.
And I want a commander mode, but not in that sense. And you're right, it would be horrible for the game. I mean, did we not learn from Battle Cry of Freedom? I mean, they didn't want to... They wanted to build their own unique experience, and they wanted a better game, but here we are tracing their steps. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You can put a lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, right? It's going to go oink oink. So, I'm not saying, like, the game's trash, but I'm just saying, like, call it like it is. I hate when... And I get it from a dev standpoint, you don't want to make promises, and that's where Campfire has screwed up a few times. They definitely made statements, promises, things that they shouldn't have, that landed him in hot water later on, which is why poor Bradley doesn't even use his mic anymore. Because he's afraid somebody's going to hear him say something, and then it's GG, and now everybody's latched onto it. It's become the stigma of the game, or not the stigma, the running joke. Here we are, I got this before horses. I got that before horses. Oh, hey, we redid the grass on freaking Otto and Sherrick Farm for like the 10th time before we got horses. But hey, they're coming. Hey, if you look at what's that one map with the giant lane we fight over with the RD on both sides and the cornfield, or not a cornfield, it's on Antietam.
And keep going. You can
the Pry House Farm? No, that's not right.
Pry House?
Is that right? Where it's the lane down the middle and you fight over the point? Yeah. So if you go inside the house when you're Yank, and you go and look at the bedrooms, immaculate detail, right? Every update we've ever had, it's like, I added new kitchenware. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the new spoon's the common, meme, right?
You know what they still haven't fixed? If you go into that house and you look in the bottom bedroom, or the top bedroom even, where there's a bed, it's not a duvet, it's not a quilt, it's a enlarged pillow on top of the mattress to make it look like it's a blanket. They were too lazy to make a blanket. They just enlarged a pillow and rotated it. Again, we added outhouses. We added all these crazy new things, right? Like, we're always constantly... And I get it, maybe they're like, okay, well, we want to refine what we have before we make the major push. And I totally respect that. But call it like it is. Quit this weird, like, guys, guess what? We just dropped this new update. We just totally blew the tickets out of the water. And we basically made certain maps unplayable now. And but we did it for the pubs, baby. I love you. But hey, guess what? You got like 10 different grass textures. We fixed old bushes. Hey, you still can't hop over the fence, right? Because I haven't figured that out. My bad. Instead of just calling it like it is, they always try to make it seem like it's bigger, better, and it's not. In the words of Hood, quite frankly, it's just not. It's not. Juice ain't worth, or the juice ain't worth the squeeze, or however you say it. I don't know, Hood. You say it all the time. I screw it up, but you get what I'm saying. Like it, I don't know. That's why I haven't been eager to jump on. I will say ABC has a 400-man server now, so there's that.
Yeah, but it's like, think about that too. It's like, oh, 4-man server, cool, dude. You can't fill it up. Sorry, you're not going to fill it up. That's the thing. I don't know why we can't fill the 350s right now. So I don't know what the fuck why I think. Now, it's not that it's a bad thing to have, but like, oh, hey guys, we did it. Why? You're not getting new people in. There's no need for it. We didn't really need anything more than 350. I'll be honest. So far.
I'm gonna say something, and this is not me trying to.
Where's this pillow blanket here? I'm hunting through this house right now.
Yeah. Should go to the top of the house.
You're
streaming.
I'm streaming, motherfucker.
Oh, my bad. I don't YouTube.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and you are absolutely right. It is.
Yeah,
that is a pillow. That is a pillow. That is 100% a fucking pillow.
And you know what? We've called it out. And they go, no, it's not a pillow, it's a blanket. I'm like, you're so full of shit. And I'm sorry, again, I'm trying to watch the cussing.
That is 100% a fucking pillow.
Yeah, it's just, it's a pillow, and it's enlarged. Not even enlarged to scale the right way, by the way. It's full on just enlarged. It's all puffed up and everything.
No, it's the same. It's this texture just rotated. It's the same texture from the pillow.
And that's the crazy part. Then they have the audacity to say that, but there's the example of the pillow that they cloned it from right freaking there. But hey, let's change up the kitchen on freaking Nicodemus Hill. Or whatever it is.
About, it's just weird that like they care enough about all this stupid. Like they're just like putting anything in there to put a patch there. Like, dude, does anybody give a fuck if you made the bed frame more realistic? Dude, no one's in these houses. Who gives a shit? The fact they put as much detail they put into them is kind of insane.
I will say I do go in the houses and I do stupid things. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, but no one's looking at the fucking silverware and the beds in that detail. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Why are you updating these?
Exactly. What are we doing here?
It's a waste of energy. And like they talk about, we're refining the game. It's like, yeah, I could believe that if the game like was going in one direction, but you keep doing things that counter the last shit you did. Hey guys, we're doing 5-second spawn timers. Oh, what do you mean they're going to be a charge meta? Another one. Hey guys, we're doing an extra update to stop the charge meta. Hey guys, we made the X too high, so now we added shittier iron sights and more weapon sweat in this latest update. They're just going back and forth.
Hold on that one though. Pause for a second. One of my favorite things, I haven't experienced this yet, but I do love, and it's so stupid. It's so stupid that I'm in love with it. The fact that if you don't go ready first before you aim now, there is the motion of which they pull back the hammer. I love that. That I like. But
that's fine.
I don't give a flip about a freaking duvet cover. I don't care if they got the right ham hanging from the barn. Listen, it's an environmental thing, environmental stuff allows you to immerse yourself, and I'm all for the immersion. But like, out of all the things that they could focus on adding to try to give you better immersion, they just don't. And they hit the mark. Right, they hit the mark. But see, even that's the other thing. Every time they tweak the gameplay and you're like, oh man, we're heading in the right direction, they do it again and they screwed up.
Yeah. No, it's like they counter themselves constantly.
And I had a big... Oh, go ahead, dude.
Oh, I was just going to say, my concern is with all these changes, if they base it off the pubs match, it's going to screw up regimental matches.
You can't do it, dude.
Velk, you're dead on, brother. No, you're dead on. So when we were having, we're in the middle of pre and post season for SSL right now, and we were having our, meetings where we do the rules just like we do here. And right before we started the other day, we had the same conversation about the map changes and the boundary changes. Now, will I say the CSA be able to push onto the bank on Burnside? I fuck with it. But like, a lot of these maps are geared towards outcomes that they saw in the pubs and people being pissed off in the pubs. Listen, I don't play as much as I used to on the pubs, but my guys do. I'm there enough to know what's going on. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw
Ride is leading right now.
Oh, I know he is. Mm-hmm. They're all excited for this new update when they want to be British. I keep telling them that we're a CSA regiment, and historically the CSA in that case would have thought they were more patriotic than the British. But Ryder's counterpoint, and I'll give it to him, was that at one point in time the British thought about, helping out the CSA and joining up and everything. And so to him, we should be British, and they're practicing their accents. It's a whole thing. But yeah, no, but it's like, when was the last time you saw a dev actually in the pub?
I mean, if he wants to, there was a lot more loyalist support in the South than there was in the New England during the Revolutionary War.
You know, I mean, that's, I can buy it, but you know what? I've spent my entire life with a 200-year-old sign, like actual hand-painted sign, that's been restored multiple times. That's how old it is. That is that classic motif of an eagle holding of a ribbon or a banner, and it says, "I owe allegiance to no crown." Look, I am Mexican, sure. I'm American, sure. At the end of the day, both of those backgrounds, they don't like monarchy.
Well, every Mexico had a king or two.
And you saw what we did to them, huh?
I went to fair point. I mean, you had them. I mean, I was like, you know.
I mean, we had them for a minute, but those Habsburgs need to stay wherever they're at. I don't know why they always want to go places.
They wander.
What's up?
No, I just said they wander.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm not saying we won't. I don't really care in the end. They want to have fun. I do whatever my boys want to do. I want them to have fun. But to me, I don't think this is enough of an update to be excited about. No. I don't believe it's a dead game. I don't believe it's a dead game at all. But that's why I'm so upset about it. It's like when you keep sitting there and you see the same menu every day on your way to work, right? You pass a billboard and you see this really mouth-watering dish. Every day you think about this thing. And every day you sit there and you eat your ham sandwich because that's your staple, and you finally get to payday and you're so excited. For the last 2 weeks you've been staring at this freaking sign every day, right? Mm-hmm. You go to their business. It's open. Could have been closed. Could have been worse. You go in and you order this dish and it looks nothing like it.
Thanks, Savage. Appreciate it, man.
Go ahead. It don't look good. It don't taste good. It's there's something about it that's off. You just wasted your money. You waited till payday. This was your reward to yourself for adulting, and then that's what they give you. Like, you're gonna be upset, right? It's the same thing here. People paid money. They've been backing this game from the start. It's never gonna be perfect, and I do think that developers do get a lot of heat. That's just life. But at the same time, they're not helping themselves. They're listening to the wrong people. Pubs are important, but so are events. Or I tell you what, this was another point we brought up. If you would have just give me better UI so that way I could change boundaries and customize different things and be able to change for events, I won't care. But right now, as it stands, you have to go into the game files and edit things, and that's just not worth it. It's not fun for me. So you're not thinking about all sides of your community. It makes no sense.
No, because they think the money makers are the pubs because they'll buy the game.
Think about this. Let's be honest. The regimental players are the ones that keep this game going, not the pubs guys. And if you keep making these changes that keep screwing up the regimental play, you're going to start losing regimental guys, and you're going to start losing your main player base.
No one's going to buy a dead game. It doesn't matter if you put the flash in, they check the Steam charts, and it's fucking 200 people on it. No one's gonna pay for it, dog.
Yeah,
the most people that we have this is probably true for a lot of you guys, I imagine. But a lot of the people we get in the unit are people who are already in the unit and they recommend to their friends and they join the unit. So we get more. Someone buys the game to join the unit and they stay in the unit, right? That's a good chunk of the people you get, at least in the 42nd. And I'm sure that's common for a lot of people. Your friend gets in, some guy joins you, hey guys, pretty cool. You should guys buy this game, it's fun. And they tell his friend, and the guy tells another friend, and then you get that markets your game for you by word of mouth on a scale this small, anyways. But every time someone, if no one's enjoying themselves, they're not going to fucking recommend to their friends. If they're going to keep playing every week, I can't recommend this game to anybody right now. I'll be honest with you. It's just not. It's stagnant, and they change single times, and they don't care about the group, the people that are running the game. And we're not only paying for the game, we're paying for the fucking servers. Absurd amount of money every year out of our own pockets to keep this game remotely alive, so they can sell it to fucking new people, and they don't give a shit about us. It's just so odd to me. They talked about all this community stuff early on in the back in the Kickstarter days when they were fucking needed the money, and they got the money, and they're like, all right, cool, now that we got money out of these fucking dorks, I guess we'll just start appealing to these new anybody else who just these Zoomer dudes who want to play Hold Fast or something. Yeah, and I don't like it.
I mean, good point. If the devs are listening, hey, it's the regimental guys that are keeping your game going, not the pubs.
I mean, they've heard 100 times, man. I don't think they're gonna change. I get tired of saying I say it almost every other update. I'm like, yeah, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Why are they doing? Oh, some pub guy said so. Blah blah blah. It's like, all right, man, they're not keeping the game up, man. I'm sorry. It's funny enough too. It's like if they interacted more often, we'll do it. Like we've done it before. We'll hey, you want people to test a 400-player server? We've organized like 2 or 3 tests specifically. Okay, you need people on this time. I'll get you 300 fucking people to pop on your test server so you can test again because you're not getting it otherwise. You get it for a day or two and then it peters off. You don't have enough data, so you need more people to do it. We'll do it. We do it, and they forget about us again. Like it's absurd to me. They came in fucking last week. Cody and George and Bradley. I got a message in the middle, like right as the event was starting from Kotow, like, hey, can we join your event? Me and 2 of the devs. I said, okay, sure. They didn't tell me what they were doing, tell me why they wanted to do it. They just said, okay, popped in. And I guess they were filming stuff for their fucking content. And then they left. And then nothing else was brought up about it. They didn't talk about the community. They didn't talk about what this event is. They passed the game off like basically like this is what the game looks like, which is insane to me because it does not look like that in pubs. I'm sorry. Like that was a very high population organized event that we've been doing for 5.5 years. They pop in, record, don't really mention it to anybody, don't really explain what's going on, why this is the way it is, and then they fuck off and they don't know. It seems to me like they're just using us when they need to for their own ends, right? They know that we're not going to have any racial slur use in this event. They know the 42nd's not going to have any people screaming insane shit all the time. So they join our event, join our unit, and then don't interact with the community. That's it. And then they get their stuff and they leave. And the next thing there's a video going on of our event, and that was it. And I don't like that. I feel like maybe you should. Not that I didn't want them there. It's cool that they're there, but like, dude, maybe a little nod to the people setting this stuff up, every week. For years. It's not even just us. For Saturday, Friday, Monday, there's events almost every fucking day of the week that they're going on for years, and they never acknowledge it. They don't talk about them. They don't join them to watch them and get any data. They just listen to some fucking random dork in a field in a pub match who's probably going to be playing the game tomorrow and who's probably saying the N-word and not looking or something. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's insulting.
Well, and I think, the sad part of it is like you said, it's like they offered to join last minute. I never heard them once say a single word, and we're at an event, people aren't bothering them, and maybe that's why they really joined. They just wanted to play the game and not be bothered.
Well, they were they were recording and they were talking to each other, and they were.
Well, they're probably.
Well, no, it's they put out the video. That's what they were doing.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's that little campfire chat thing. Every piece of footage in there is from round 1 and round 2 of last Saturday.
By the way, the views. Cody has been hired as their PR person, essentially, as their public outreach person. To answer your question earlier, well, I don't think it's a bad
marketer
or marketer. What I forget his exact title, but essentially doing some of the outreach. Which again, I think he mentioned you in the 42nd, but I would have.
He mentioned specifically the 42nd, but there's not really any context behind that.
No, I would have preferred, and this is up to them, however they want to do it, but leaving a Discord link to the 42nd if you're going to go with their unit, and leaving a Discord link to the event would have been nice.
It would have been courteous, yeah.
Would have been courteous, common courtesy of, hey, they talked about you, and they saw that you're like, oh, hey, I want to join this, so how do I do it? I have no way of knowing off of that video.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's super strange. You could even said hey guys, so we're in a private event. It's run by this unit.
I hope so, BJ.
If you
I
want
hope
to join them, come to the Discord. There's units here recruiting, and you can get in the events like this, by that way. That could have been. I don't even that. They just didn't really want to mention what was going on, and it seemed weird to me.
That is the highly rated House Divided campaign event, by the way.
Yeah, the longest running campaign in their fucking goddamn event, run by the first unit in War of Rights. We've been around for 10 years now, dude. Like, you're not gonna say anything about that? That's kind of a big fucking deal, man. Like, you don't want to advertise that? This game lets people last that fucking long, and they're doing this again?
Yeah, but then other people are gonna be looking at it. It's like, you want to come get sucked into our community and never leave? Please join the 42nd PA.
I don't think anybody's playing.
If you want to join the 42nd PA right now, I'll give you your own company and a commission. All right, come on. It's the same stuff. I think what it is too is they don't want to show favoritism, and if we're looking at it solely from a marketing standpoint, either this was just a grievous error of somebody who doesn't, this is their first gig and they're not really sure how to engage, and maybe they're testing the waters or something, and they just don't have that experience to know how to properly, buy into it, make people feel like you want to be there, make people feel like you're not just a dev and you're here for, you know, some background stuff, but you're actually wanting to enjoy it. Maybe give it a little spin, like, oh, this is a really fun event. Maybe you guys should look at it. You know, a shout out, stuff like that.
Something like that.
They, you know, and let's be honest too, they never interview well, and that's probably why they need Cody. They never, you know, they.
Well,
get
Cody is
time.
Cody is quite good at, I think,
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not-
outreach.
I'm
I
not
think
knocking
I think he's probably one of the smarter
No, yeah,
moves they've
and that's-
done. We'll see how it works
that's the
out, but
thing,
I think he'll
though,
do
like,
well.
I'm not.
No,
knocking
I have
Cody.
no problem with those guys, by the way.
No,
To be
right.
honest, again, I just
Right.
the way it was handled in context of everything else, it's just kind of insulting. Like,
No,
'cause,
right.
you know,
No, it is. I mean, you put the blood, the sweat, the tears into this, because let's be honest with you, or with everybody, event life is different. It is a niche part of a niche community already. You know, we are different. We want to do things different. We want to be organized about it. We want to change rules for ourselves and possibly break the game. You know, we test things to the limit. We're an untapped resource of just other things. It's just like, you know, there's always that argument that event officers are great, pub officers are just puppies. I don't buy that. I think in order to be a good event officer, you need to have a baseline in the pubs at some point. I think some of the best strategies I've come up with at events were based off of something I saw in the pubs or did in the pubs. And, you know, I think they're a value part of the community. So I'm not knocking the pubs, but what I keep seeing happening is these devs, they don't consider their entire part of the community. They only consider what they're used to, what they know, their bread and butter. They don't want to expand. They always shout out the same people. When they actually do a shout out, they have the same people controlling their stuff. You know, it's always the same people. So actually, when Cody got brought on, I thought that was a really good idea. But, you know, they still got a lot to prove here because, again, first of all, here's the other thing, too. They don't consider events, right? They always do updates on Wednesday nights or like a random Friday or like some night that's just really inconvenient for people. You know, Mondays and Tuesdays are the deadest time in World Rights in both the pubs and events. I'm not knocking if there's events out there. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying as far as our population goes, Mondays and Tuesdays are the deadest nights in this community. Why aren't we doing it then? Why aren't we utilizing that? If you really know your community well, you would know that. I shouldn't have to tell you that. So if you're a dev and you're thinking, well, man, I'm really community driven, that's how people keep buying this game, then maybe I would think about when I release it and who it's going to affect.
I don't know, man. You would think that, you know. And by the way, we're not even. The funny thing is, we're not even a niche part of the community. We're the majority. The regiments and the events are the majority of the community. We've done the math, right? The niche thing is the pubs every day. Way less people are on the pubs every day than come to the events on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. So it's not even. You're not even listening to the majority of the people that are attending your fucking game, which is even weirder to me. I don't understand it. I could kind of get it, frankly, if there were always a fucking full pub server every goddamn day of every week. Okay, that would make a little more sense that you want to appeal to those guys because they're always playing. But that's not true. This fucking pub server's dead most of the week. It gets a little high on the weekends, but that's always eclipsed by the fucking 3 events happening simultaneously. That brings in, you know, 1,100 people on Friday and Saturday. And I don't know about Sunday, but Sunday's high too. There's at least 3 events I know in the A side on Sunday. The pubs are not competing with that. So I don't know why you're so insistent on listening to them every time they complain about stuff. Not to mention they're oddly confrontational. They do not like organized play. A lot of those guys, you know, who are out there and the most pissed about it, tried organized play and they didn't like it because they couldn't frankly hack it, and they went to pubs and now they're on the crusade of whatever they say. I'm going to say the opposite. I don't care if I believe it or not. And it just seems like a super toxic environment to try to, you know, engage with anybody, devs or otherwise, and it sucks. And it feels like I only you know, show up in that community in the Discord to fucking complain, because if I'm there any other time, there's always some type of little confrontation about something going on.
I mean, you're not wrong. And when I say niche, by the way, I'm not saying so much for the overall community, but we are niche as far as a gamer sense. Yeah. You know, especially when you think of it from a dev standpoint. I bought the game already. What else am I going to give them? Right? I'm going to keep their community alive so people want to buy it, sure. But any day now, I could just quit the game and never play it again.
True.
With everybody in this room.
Although I would, yeah, not true. But I have a counter argument. Go ahead, finish.
No, that's fine. And to me, it's like at the end of the day, the same people they need to appease are the ones that are going to have to go buy the game. That's how they're making their money. They don't. I don't know. I'm sure they get some type of cut out of the G Portal money, maybe. But beyond that, there's no like sponsorship thing. There's no like here fund this and do this. You know, the Kickstarter's over. I know people make private donations to Campfire. I've heard of those stories a million times, but you know, at the end of the day, the only way they're getting more money is when somebody goes on Steam and they say, "Oh shit, what's this?" and they buy it. Right? Now, of course, like y'all said, as a player, I could go tell all my friends, "Hey, come play this game." But honestly, I don't. You know, the reason being is because most of my friends that would probably want to play it are, you know, they're older and they don't really want to play, like, you know, video games, let alone a Nintendo. You know, they wouldn't. I can't picture them ever getting a PC to do this, but you know, I think a lot of people, though, in a sense, that are interested in this are already going to flock to it, and they need to keep drawing that in. Now they're getting to a point where I think the people that are already interested in this have already flocked to it, so now they got to get people that normally wouldn't be interested in this to flock to it. I mean, think about it. They said they would never release statistics of your gameplay. They didn't want this to turn into like a Call of Duty thing. They didn't want it to turn into like any type of those things. They wanted people to focus on the experience and the immersion. And then what have they said recently? Oh, we're going to come out with a site that gives you your statistics, how many wins you get, how many times you've died, you know, all this other stuff. Sure, some people want to know that, but now we're reneging. So who are we reneging for? Oh, the new population that's coming, the people that they need to market to. Well, what's your counterpoint?
So I
wanted to take it out.
Yeah, you wandered a bit further from the original point, but so you are correct that the economic model for this game is new sales. That is the business model for this game, is new sales entirely. G Portal, they don't get any cut from my understanding, and if they do, it's negligible. But from my understanding, they get nothing.
Sad.
So you are correct. So new sales drives the approach to the game. And again, I said this several months ago. You know, that's why you're having special events, because special events plus sales, you know, like Steam sales equals development money. It's a very simple model, and that is the model they're going to use. Now, the thing about it, though, is I would argue, okay, why do they need to engage with the community more? Maybe Cody will get them to realize this, is where do they go when they need to show off the game?
Mm-hmm.
Their new AI regiments that they just built that will play the game for them.
That's not even new. They had bots.
Oh, I know.
They
I
do
know,
run
but you
events.
get what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I do get your point, Kotow. I'm not devaluing that. You're right too. But at the end of the day, they can just build AI and do it for them. They don't,
Well, but they don't, and they won't.
Just start spreading out.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that costs money,
Right there. Start spreading back out. To the left.
and it doesn't
Money
look
that
good.
but you see the circle, right? Because now the new player needs to show up and play it. And
Which is why you rely
never
on the
ending.
public
yeah.
material.
No, you're right. No,
This is
you're
why
right.
I rely on the public to do the sales for you. You don't market your own game. You get your community to market for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's guerrilla marketing. You're not big enough.
Yeah.
You're not gonna.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So I mean, you know, he's not in the dev cycle, but okay, you know, when Eagle needs content to do a video, where'd he go?
Yeah.
He went to
No, I
UEC.
get you.
He doesn't cover UEC. He went to the private events, which make the game look immersive.
Right.
And you only get that in those private events. That's why Cody went to HDC first. He didn't go. He could have gone on a pub.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need to ask for a password to go on a pub on Saturday. Why didn't he go there?
Yeah.
In the video, he said, "Well, we hope to go on the pubs later, but you know, what's your first impression?" And I got to edit the video out like like crazy to take out all the slurs and everything.
Not that. Just the screaming in general.
The screaming and people being crazy. You know, it's okay. What am I showing? It's like, okay, so if you're showing the product as the event, then the event is the product. You know, but they haven't made that connection. It's okay. We'll use the event to sell, but then we won't support the events. So there's a disconnect in their marketing and their business model, which they haven't quite figured out yet. But that's for them to unfuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I think the other thing too, and you did touch base on it for a second, and you were talking about how they always have to edit out all the brain rot that happens in pubs, right? They don't care. I mean, they've been caught not caring about that multiple times. They've admitted that they don't care about it multiple times. If they really cared, they would ensure that their test server was better moderated. They're not even on as devs half the time when the test server's up anyway. There's nobody watching it. You could be trolling me with Artie. You could be yelling all sorts of curse words at me and just being a.
Well, I disagree with you on that piece as well. They do care about it, not in a moral sense, but from a sales sense. Again, why don't they advertise it? They could. Well, why don't they? Well, because, they get them in trouble with YouTube and a whole bunch of other things. But again, that's that poor marketing. You have to be able to market, if I want to put a video up on YouTube, I have to meet terms of service, and based on what I do, as far as how much cursing and how much other things I have in the video, determines on what level and who I could sell the video game to. And, if you don't have that 13 to 17 demo on, which I don't, your video gets shit for traction. But to have that 13 to 17 demo, which gives you wide audience, you need to, have a reasonable expectation that you're not going to have that. Not even reasonable. You can't have any of that. So again, it's, their marketing and their strategy for sales does not exactly line up. And that is where the problem is. And they seemed to indicate that last year when they said we're going to have, some kind of mod tool. Not a mod tool, but a reporting tool.
Tokens.
Server tokens, but then a reporting tool for racism. And again, they've done a number of things on this game. They've instituted the racial slur, filter. They've instituted, the option to mute. They've the downvoting. So they've instituted a number of things to address this issue. So I don't think it's maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not gonna, whatever is in their minds, whatever. But I'm just saying, from a marketing standpoint, they very much understand that this is the main thing that's holding up the game. Every goddamn YouTube video that gets traction usually has the same fucking title. What is it?
I played the most racist Steam game today.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I mean, and you're not wrong, but that's also why I'm hoping that they got Cody, and he understands it, he sees it, he gets it. I hope, I don't know Cody personally, but he always seems like a nice guy. And maybe they're going to use his influence to kind of have a better understanding of that and maybe counteract some of the stuff. Because, that's the other thing that's I always think so embarrassing, right? Oh, what do you do with, all the time? I play this game War of Rights. Well, what is that about? Oh, it's a historical-based game. It's a shooter kind of thing. It's, lobby-based, and then they just trail off. And I do that for a reason, because I know what's going to happen, right? They're going to Google it. They're going to go on YouTube. They're going to see what it is and what people are marketing it as from their own channels, right? Not so much Campfire Games. And they're just going to run with that narrative. And I know that's a hard narrative to beat, obviously. It's not an easy thing. I'm not saying it's easy. But I don't see that counter, action to try to trying to diminish some of that. If anything, it's bad publicity is good publicity. And I mean, that's true too. That has value, but I don't know. I think that while you're right, they have, instituted certain things that try to combat that, and they do rely heavily on moderated pubs that are privately owned. They also they haven't done the token thing. They haven't even talked about it in a while, at least not from what I've seen. Right, it's been over a year. Next thing you know, it's gonna be another horses thing. It's just gonna be 2-3 years from now. We're gonna be like, oh shoot, dude, they finally fixed the faucet on Washington Street House, but I got that before I got horses and a token. You know what I mean? Like, that's the new thing. And look, we're not an easy community to please. I get it. We're very passionate about this. A lot of us are. But I just still don't see where they're doing anything to kind of counter any of those problems that we as a community see. We're going out here, we make events, right? SSL's the same way. There's none of that's allowed there, right? For the same reason. It could have been a problem. It got nerfed. It's no longer a problem. And that's why I do that at SSL. It's why I like to come to HDC. It's why I like to go to War Session. These events don't have brain rot that's unnecessary. Brain rot in the sense of fun, sure. But they don't have those crazy people screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs just because they think they can. They don't have some dude blasting some random soundboard that's just ruining everything. They don't have all those, slurs being said and crazy speech being said. It's a clean environment where you can actually have fun and play the game. But there's other places out there, like you said, where they have these things, but they're not doing anything to try to combat that. They're relying on private people to do it. They're not making any headway at all. Kotow, you could literally publish this live stream and talk about this being the most racist game in the world, and you'll never get contacted by Campfire. They won't care. They won't do anything about it. So, I do.
It's funny. The one time they hit me up on was when I said something wrong about a snake fence, and I was like, hey, they haven't, whatever it was. I was incorrect, but that was the only time they ever hit me up. Was, hey, you said this about snake fences. That's not right. This is the reason it's not working. So, and they were right. I did say it wrong. I was fucked up. It's funny. That was the one thing they hit me on.
And that's even more frustrating because that means they are watching these things and they're reading the complaints and they were choosing not to, it's like you look at people bits about stuff in general chat and then someone will say something about you know, fucking flag bearers being unnecessary, and then they'll respond to that guy and then not talk about all the other crazy that people are talking about, like, yeah, because it's ruining the game, blah blah. They don't give it, they ignore most of the stuff, but I know you're reading it now it's even worse. I know you're ignoring the issues as opposed to not checking, you know, feedback, whatever. It'd be better if you just weren't paying attention. Now I know you're paying attention. Now you're making a very conscious choice to continue to do things that don't make any fucking sense. I mean, the whole racing things has been a huge problem. They've like, you know, they shut these big events up, and it's going to happen with this one. They're going to have a big event. It's going to be at a big server that they're not going to moderate. No one's going to be able to moderate it, and you're going to and people complain about that, and they say, well, we're not admins. This is what they have said. We're not admins. We're not going to act like admins. Because we'll have to do if we have to do that, we'll have to listen to it. We're gonna have to be there and check everybody all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point. Otherwise, you're gonna have people screaming insane shit all the goddamn time, and no one's gonna want to stick around and play the game. That's why you can't get more people in the game, dude.
You know, not to cut you off too, but they did. I'll give them this. They have gone out and they have banned certain people, like a dev ban. But you know what? The ones I've seen the
worst
most
people on the planet, though.
Oh no! You know what they did the last one? The last one was because one of them, they made a threat, like a joke about taking out the devs or something like that, and they immediately banned the guy forever.
Oh, personal.
And you know, yeah, but that was the thing. It was like over here, I'm getting yelled all sorts of things. I'm getting 7 different names from Sunday called at me. I'm getting people stabbing me in the back, TK me on purpose. I'm getting people trolling me with already nothing. But boy, you say something against the devs, oh, good night, bye, Felicia. If you tell me that you really care and you want to do these sort of things, then do them. Don't tell me you want to fix something that you know is a problem and that you recognize it's a problem and do nothing about it, because then this is why people get upset. Now, I do love the devs. I'm highly critical of them, sure, but I do love them. They gave me a game and a community that I enjoy. But it's kind of frustrating, and more so for us, like you said, event players are. It's their community, right? And especially people like Hood and everybody in this room, right? We apply ourselves way too much to the events that we go to. This is like a second job for us. We choose to do that, right? I'm not complaining, but when you see somebody do that, and then you see these devs do what they do, it's kind of like a smack in the face. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they say they can't police all the racism.
By the way, how's it going, Tater?
Hey, dude.
Oh, hey, what's up, Tater?
Hi. I joined here. Didn't expect this conversation. I mean,
what are you trying to say?
No, I originally thought y'all were just talking about like campaign shit, and then.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're here now. I kind of just been listening in.
We're getting.
I have no input. So I'm just staying silent.
We listen. We don't judge. You know.
No, I mean, listen. I don't think that they're bad people. I think they're just so stubborn in whatever their idea of how this thing should be is, and it's just not. Listen, man, you can make something, right? But once people get their hands on it, it's kind of theirs too. You know what I mean? Like, I get that they don't want the game to be this way anymore. It's weird because all the Kickstarter promotion that was this is what they wanted. This is what they set the thing up for. They wanted to be a Civil War, you know, Napoleonic Wars type deal. They wanted all the strong community, private events, all that stuff, right? Let's they market this, and then now that years gone by, they're like, anyways, we're gonna take these guys for granted, and we're gonna try to rake in as much more cash from new people by basically fucking lying to the motherfuckers. Okay, Civil War half sale, cool, and it's gone. I'm sorry, Revolutionary War, it's gone. Hey, doing a zombie thing for 2 weeks, gone again. They've already paid the money, right?
Hey,
if someone buys it,
we're not gonna fix it. You gotta wait a whole year.
Yeah, and it's like dude. And again, they're like, oh, we don't want to be admins, we can't handle the racism. We've done it. There's been a slur said in this fucking community in years, because we police it. It's only one server. If they're gonna have a server up for a short amount of time, it's only one. Motherfucking police that shit. That's your job now. If you want, why can you not do that? We're doing it for fucking free.
Or get people to do it for you. I'm sure there's plenty of trained admins that would love to get in there and do stuff. Whether they're from events, POD, or whatever, in PIU, I guarantee you that if they called and said, hey, you know, we need some people, we're only going to take like 10 to 15, they need to play at all hours of the day from all various parts of the world, who's your best people that would be willing to sit here and moderate our stuff? We're not going to pay you for free, or we're not going to pay you, but you got to do it for free. But if you're willing to do it, please come on and do it. And I guarantee you there's people that are actually honest people that will seriously do it, not just for the name. and will actually sign up and go out there and moderate their stuff. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to. They don't want to seem like they're cracking down wrong, because they also know that these same people that are part of the problem here are the same ones that they want to keep buying the game, because they're going to keep flocking to it by the dozens. You know, and that's the other thing, the uncomfortable elephant in the room that we're not talking about here. So we know this is a problem, and I'm not saying this from a personal standpoint. As a community, even the ones who engage in it admit that it's a problem. That's the other crazy thought. You know, they are still seeing these people come in and buy the dozens, buy the hundreds, buying the game when it's on sale, buying the game when it's not on sale. They come in, you see those level 1s all the time. You got the ones trying to learn the games, the ones that are completely brain rotted, and the extremely racist ones. Every single time they come in those threes. Right? Brain rot, can't help yourself. That's the current generation. The guy trying to learn the game, hey, we all started somewhere. But these races, they spent $29.95 to validate their racism. And they know that they did. And they know that they did. And you know what? And when you tell them that, they get very frustrated with you, right? Which I think is hilarious. But, you know, again, if you suddenly police that and you crack down on that hard from a developer standpoint for your entire game, not just the community, but the game itself, if you crack down on that, there goes that income. It's gone. They can't afford to do that right now.
Well,
yeah, but you'll get more people who don't.
It's a calculus again. So, you know, I would argue, you know, again, this is, I guess, to counter argue, you know, what drives engagement with a video game? I would argue what drives engagement with a video game is Twitch, is YouTube, is those kinds of things. That is what. But word of mouth. Yes, no. I think it's through that gaming.
Don't sit in the break room and recommend my favorite Civil War game.
No, I don't think there's enough of that. But again, I think it's Twitch, it's YouTube, it's TikTok, it's those kinds of things. It's social media that drives people to video games. That's what gets people sales. Frankly, that's what it is. And you can't do that with the racist angle. So you lose. So okay, I might gain 10 racists, but I'm losing 1,000 normal players.
Yeah.
Because I know the game is racist, so I'm not going to even bother. And it's not that I know the game is racist, it's because there's no coverage because the game is racist, so I can't market the game through Twitch, through these streaming services, you know, those various platforms. So therefore it doesn't reach the wider population. So, you know,
the only those get popular are the racists, too. Those go viral.
Well, it creates, what it does is it creates, and again, so the racist operates in a certain, what they do is they create a space. They create a space where it becomes permissible. And then they shut down all the other voices because that becomes permissible. And once they have their space, they guard it. And they kind of gatekeep it. And then they can, you know, it moves on from there. But it actually works more if you're looking to validate your racism for the game to remain as niche as possible, for the game to remain as out of the public domain as possible. Because if it's not, then it gets rejected. So again, it's this, okay, oh, well, we'll lose the racists. I was like, you will gain more players net by far if you do so. And it's in their interest that your game remains as niche as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could, but you got to remember, too, though, it's like you know you can swim, right? You don't need the floaties. You know you can swim. There's that weird phase when you're a kid learning how to swim, and you have those stupid little floaties on. You're treading water. You can't really even doggy paddle, right? You finally learn how to swim. You know how to swim, and your parents even tell you can take them off, but you leave them on because you're kind of paranoid, right? Same with training wheels, right? You're paranoid. I think it's the same thing. It's like they know they could probably get by without it, but they're too scared to that drop that's going to happen initially.
You're not wrong. I think that's a great analogy for it. But the problem is, again, from a marketing standpoint, you see the data. You see how much coverage you have on YouTube for the game. And you see how many streamers play the game and then leave it. And then what remains, I played the most racist game ever. And then you can look. They have this data. Because, again, it's publicly available. You can look at, okay, how much has my sale generated in new YouTube content, in new Twitch content, et cetera, et cetera. And then how many people, you know, based on that content, okay, what are our sales? I can correlate that. The sales numbers are not going up with these new updates. You get a spike immediately, but you're not getting that generative over time.
No, I agree.
So it's like, yes, I agree with the floaties. Yes, they might be afraid of that. But again, from a marketing standpoint, it's fucking stupid. Because you're cutting off your main method.
Yeah, how many years do you have to go where every time you do a thing, you see the thing spike and go right back down to where it was again before you think maybe we're doing something wrong? We've said it to them before, years over years, and they come and they make jokes about how everyone says the game's dead. Like, dude, the last sale they had, we had fucking, I think it was George. Not that I don't like George, but George came into like our Discord and was like type message, "Hey guys, highest ever peak player count." I'm like, dude, fucking, what the fuck? Who cares, man? They're gonna be gone this time next week. That's not going to change anything. You've sold fucking, everyone out for the short term, and it's not going to fix any of the issues that have been long-standing. I thought that was insane to me. They're super excited about getting the biggest fucking small spike they can get, but they don't care about the long-term nurturing of the game. And I think a lot of updates they do are hurting it, frankly.
Yeah.
And they seem to be reluctant to acknowledge it, but they do acknowledge it in subsequent patches. And I don't know why they just can't be like, okay, listen, guys, maybe we're fucking up. Maybe we need some help. We'll maybe just appeal to you guys a little more and try to actually, answer some of the things you guys. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, what would get people a lot of goodwill in the community? Can I turn the fucking snow on in my own server, please?
Dude.
Can I turn the fall on? Can I just do that? That'd be a huge.
That'd be
years.
that'd be.
$120.
That's one of my biggest asks for this game is to be able to do the weather.
Let me pick the fucking goddamn season. You've had it in the game. You took all the time to model it and put it in and texture it, and you take it away from other people, from the whole community, for 90% of the fucking year. That's illogical to me.
I mean, I got it. They're probably gonna have to make the game files be a little bit bigger, but I mean, what's it right now? 10.6 something.
Shit?
Well, hold on. So let me tell you how I know that that's not exactly the case. They, to their credit, right? We can't do this personally, and I wish we could. You're right. To their credit, if I am one of the devs right now, probably Molex or like Trusty or something. I was like, "Hey, yo, pimp, can we turn on the snow on my server? I have an event that I'm trying to pull off." They will do it.
I don't care.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's like if they're willing to go that far, then why not just give us the power? Why not give me a UI as a moderator or owner of a server to be able to change it to whatever I want? And hell, at this point, I'm even asking, just give me the ability to put it in a tilde, and we're good.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Because they don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us or what? The whole 5-second thing was a pain in the ass, right? And they ignored everything we said about it, and then they only start talking when IVB found a workaround in the files because they just didn't close it. It was they looked it up. They just looked up. They typed in flag timer in the fucking console, and right there it was. They couldn't even fucking cover that. So, and then we did it. Somebody said, "Hey, the server's on 10 seconds. What's up?" That, and they fucking lost their minds for a fucking while. And I was talking to them like, "Guys, listen. Hey, all that shit you said about developing 2 different games or whatever the fuck, was complete horseshit. We've been doing it for fucking a month. You haven't known about it. Hasn't caused an issue, has it? So." Obviously everything you said about it being a giant issue was complete bullshit.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't touched it, thankfully. But I mean, we're not using it anyways because now the accuracy update's so fucking aggressive, it's impossible to play that way, which is fine. Which is what I said we said they should have done when they changed the 5-second spawn time. Like, hey guys, you gotta have the accuracy if you're gonna do this. This is impossible. Otherwise, and they didn't. They ignored that, and then a year later they fixed it. And now a year later, it's too much, which again I think it is. And now they've changed it again to make it less good by making guns harder to use. They just don't have. And people always complain about you go in there and complain about stuff, and it's some fucking random pub shithead who just sits there all day, filleting these fucking guys. Will go, "Oh, that's the trusted dev's vision." I've heard that so many times over the years of trusted dev vision. They don't have a vision, brother. They're counteracting the vision every other year. They do something, go back on it. Next update, go back on it again. Because they don't test anything. They don't. They tested one thing, and it was 5-second spawn time. They tested for like a week before they did it out, and everyone told them at the time, like, "Hey man, maybe a little too much. It's causing a lot of charges. We can't kill anybody," and they just turned it on anyways, and then sat around for a year.
Yeah.
And here we are again. Fuck off.
And too, because I finally found the stream, by the way, so I'm seeing the chat going off, and I kind of want to address a couple things because I mean, hey, if y'all want to comment, then let's respond, right? BJ, very, very honest point here. What's the practical solution to introducing moderation onto the official server? I mean, is it necessarily needed in a perfect world? No, and maybe it wouldn't even be done well because, let's be honest, even most public servers have problems keeping all their admins on throughout the day, right? People get burnt out. They don't want to be on all the time. But for the 2-week time that official server's up, having that moderation is key. You see a drastic difference by like day 3 after everybody's soaked in the recent update and they get kind of burnt out from it. they stopped playing on that official server because they're like, I can't be here. Like, this is so annoying. It's you know, I'm getting trolled with Artie. Like, let's cut out like all the other things we were talking about, like with like, you know, the abundant racism and stuff like that. Let's just focus on actual game, you know, defining moments like trolling Artie or trolling infantry with Artie or TKing the COs and stuff like that. Sure, there's the auto ban. You TK somebody enough, it kicks you. That's fair. But even then, that's not enough sometimes. If somebody's
the flag's a big one too.
Yeah, people can run with the flags. There's no penalty to that. There's no way to get kicked for that. There's all these different little things that are game affecting that ruin the experience. If they don't moderate it, it's not there. Like, even if we don't want to crack down the whip on just about everything, right? If we're just talking about things that affect the game themselves, that's why that would be important. And like you said, the tools suck. I mean, even from a mod standpoint or an admin standpoint on most servers, having to try to like click on somebody quick enough to do something, or you know, having to pull your game log to go find a freaking 74 key, so whatever the hell it's called from Steam. You know, a lot of those things are just annoying. You know, and they could definitely do it better. And I get it, maybe that's not the major focus right now, but they've made no instance of saying that they're gonna look into that. Another thing too, I was going to mention this earlier, and I'm kind of got that. I think it's a Soldi. I don't know. I'm too far from my computer screen. But Soldi makes a point here. We're talking about, okay, you know, what about all these other weird one-offs with 1776 or Halloween event? You know, I think adding like Fredericksburg or Second Bolt, dude, spot on. I mean, we were promised Shepherdstown. We're not getting Shepherdstown. We were promised a map editor. We're probably not getting a map editor. I mean,
promised oranges, promised a big big battle mode, by the way.
Yeah,
that they took off.
Hey man, that's Conquest now.
Yeah, no, actually, it's Conquest now. They took out the store page because Killer brought out, like, hey man, when's this big battle mode coming out with all the, you know, the maps and the generals and the lights? Like, oh, Conquest has multiple flags and it's kind of big, so yeah, you're right, we'll remove that. I'm like, that doesn't seem fucking legitimate at all. That wasn't what it was announced as when you put it out.
No, it's not. And that's the other thing too. Here's what's really pissing me off about 1776. Right, I like the concept. I think it's a cool idea. I've been saying it for ever since I've got this game that we need flintlocks, right? I know that they didn't happen at Antietam, but that's not the point. Or even just there in the Greater Maryland campaign. But my thing is too, it's like they're gonna give us flintlocks, right? We're gonna use them for probably a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe they'll be generous and give us 3 weeks, right? We're gonna use them for 3 weeks, and then they're gone. Meanwhile, you could easily transition us into like Wilson's Creek. Give me some flintlocks. Let me be MSG, dog. I got you. Or let's go to Bull Run. You know, they had that one. What was it? The 8th Virginia or whatever it was.
The Revolutionary War guys. Yeah.
They dressed up like the Revolutionary War because that's what their militia uniform was. There's so many things that the stuff that they're using in this little event that could, it's not like zombies, but this event itself that they could implement into the game, and they're just not gonna do it. And that's the defining, like, okay, that's the big fuck you. It's like, we spent all this time to do this thing that you didn't ask us for because we thought it was cool. We're only gonna give it to you for a while, but hey. There's next year. Maybe that's part of the marketing strategy. They want to entice us.
It's entirely a marketing strategy. And again, it's not a bad one, but it's not a bad one. I'll say that. But you know, as far as driving sales, but
it insults the people that have been playing.
It's you know, as far as the division of labor goes, I don't know for certain, but I imagine. I don't think this 1776 one is that much, to be honest with you, because it sounds like it's just skins and a rifle change. But like zombie mode took some effort.
Yeah,
that was a huge fucking task. It took the whole team a long time to do. That was AI, game mode, all that shit, lighting, that new the fucking torch thing. I mean, I'll be honest, the model, even the 1776 stuff, that's not easy to do. Like if anyone's ever tried a 3D model,
I don't want to minimize Pingo's work or anything like that. But again, it's
I'm not knocking it.
You know,
it's good work, by the way. It's good work. It's high quality work. It took months, at least 1 or 2.
No,
probably.
It is a significant investment for one developer, but he's not changing core gameplay, which is what zombie mode did. They invented a whole new system of successive maps, which God I want for fucking the actual game.
They never used again.
I want it in the game.
Let me go from Burnside's or from Pry House to Burnside Bridge to fucking Auto.
Yeah, let me go from River Crossing to wherever it ended. I was like, camp. I was like, this is so amazing, and I can never do it again until next
week. Badass, dude.
You know what they do give us though? They send Bradley on a research excursion so he can get us a new flag. That's,
the flag obsession is so fucking obnoxious, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
I thought he was doing that because he's not. Did they pay for that?
hate for him to go to. I'm sure
thought
they did.
I thought they did to some degree. I mean, if he works for them and he's going out there to do research, not just for his paper or his professorship or whatever the heck it's called. I'm uneducated in that sense, but you know, if it's not for that, he's obviously using that to utilize for his work. So yeah, I would bill it as time.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm, you know, hey man, I'm in that fucking field right now, and you don't make a lot of money, so no.
Right?
If he's doing it, more power to you, brother. But I thought it was just part of his normal work.
But in all seriousness, jokes aside, I do appreciate that, believe it or not, that Bradley does go out and do that, because nothing's more frustrating when all you see is the same, you know, battle flag over and over and over, and it's a clear copy paste. And I do like that each unit's got their unique flags and that he does the time to do research. So again, I'm not knocking all that, but why are we focusing on that?
It's because it's all he can do. He's a texture
No, I'm
guy
not
and
just.
he does flag,
I'm
right?
not
Like
just
it's not
talking
like the
about
bad
him, though.
thing.
No. I'm not just talking
Yeah.
about him. I'm talking about the game as itself. It's like, okay, cool. You're doing all this work so you can go out there and get this flag stuff. I appreciate it. But like,
I also did
where's
BJ. I was extremely happy with the drill camp maps.
Dude, everybody
Yeah.
liked that.
That was
That's
my
what I'm
favorite
talking
update.
about. Everyone's like, holy shit, finally,
Yeah.
new map. And it's great, and they're good maps. They're designed well, for the most part. There may be a little defender bias
I
sometimes.
mean, there's some problems here and there, but whatever, you know.
They're still fine. And everybody, no one complained about drill camp, which is funny to me, right? No one's like, man, these drill camp maps, I wish you didn't do that. Not a single person. Right?
Actually,
not anybody. Because of course not. That's what people want. They wanted new maps. We've said for years. Hey, look, new maps. Awesome. Thank you. What's next? Oh, we changed the fucking extra again. Oh, fuck. I know one asked for that, and they're mad. Weird. It's not like people are mad for the sake of being mad every time nothing comes out, man.
Yeah,
There's
well,
legitimate reasons every time if there's somebody who's mad about it.
Right, and
There's
I'm not
real shit.
saying that. No, you're good. I'm trying not to cut you off. I do value the drill camp maps. I think they're not my favorite, but I do think they're worth it. At least they did something. But I've heard a lot of people, believe it or not, because you got to remember, I dip into all sides of the community, right? And so I'm around all sorts of people and hear from all the different units, and then I'm heavy with the pubs, so I hear from all of them too. And I've heard a lot of dissenting opinion about drill camp. A lot of people were pissed off that, you know, after all this time they finally got new maps when really the maps were already in the game. They just put new borders in other places.
That's true.
You know, I do know that.
I mean, that's not a valid criticism. I'll give it to you. That's
yeah,
you know.
A lot of people, I've heard a lot of criticism like that where it's valid, and I'm like, well, you're not wrong, but hey, man, you got new maps, so shut the fuck up. I mean,
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
a weird thing to complain about at this point.
No, again, that's I'm not gonna say you're wrong. You know, they're wrong about that. They're not. But it's, you know, I think the last map update we got was with the conquests.
Yeah.
Which was 2022.
Yep. And again, that was it was the same maps, but
Reusing map assets
right?
again. It wasn't new maps. So again, it's like we haven't gotten a new map since South Mountain in 2020, early 2020.
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
Diffuse, you make a solid point, brother. So here's the other thing too about that zombie mode, right? We talk about new maps and how we're doing things. You know how it was staged? So you would lose part of it, you'd have to retreat to the next area, lose part of it, retreat to the next area, and that's how real battles were fought.
Mm-hmm.
Quit focusing on this stupid like 300 yard by 300 yard square. I don't give a fuck about a rectangle. I want to retreat through a city and be panicked and trying to get back to the hill.
And figuring out, okay, where is the place I'm going to stand at? Do I need to do a delaying action? Can I do a flanking action? Can I do an ambush?
Can I catch him? Yeah.
All kinds of things. Can I send a, who knows, a cav thing and go behind the lines and recap all the way back there? That might be a hell of an investment, but, you know, hey, you know.
But the mechanics
it'd be easy to do. They don't have to even add new maps or anything. Just put the game mode thing you already did, expand a little bit, and you can put cavalry in the cavalry war. Cavalry can't work right now. If they put horses in, it can't work. So that would be amazing. That would be the game mode, right? If they did that. If they made like I can go from fucking I don't remember the map, but try forward to across the river to Fragger's Mill and then up to whatever the fuck else.
Well,
you did that, and it was back more tug and war.
I thought for sure that's where they were moving because again, that's like, okay, you're testing it with this thing, and this will be an amazing mode, man. This will like, I mean, you know, okay, make it like an hour and a half. I mean, most events are fucking 2 matches anyway.
Yeah, it'd be one. You could do one fucking battle. It would be fucking red. And you have like you could have all the and it would set up everything because it makes sense. It's like, okay, well, this will make sense when you have horses that can pull artillery. They can have artillery spawn them in. You can put them all over the place. You can move them around. You can move them with the fucking advance or fall back with the retreat. You can put them on a weird place. Our cavalry can run around and flank people. They can try to maybe, I don't know, cut off a spawn point, and while the other guys try to cap, while they're fucking, you know what I mean? And nothing happened. It's been 2 years, I think. So,
it's your hot take. I'm actually Soldy. I also don't care about horses either. But Army horses,
yeah.
yeah, I agree
I
with
mean,
you.
I'm not
Army
gonna
horses,
I'm not gonna ride a fucking horse.
having mobile artillery, especially on a bigger map like that.
That's where I'm at.
You know, again, so, I mean, it's if we're talking about game design, like one of the things I find infuriating is just slapping the artillery on conquest and drill camp.
Anywhere.
To be honest, I mean, there's a couple really good, drill camp arty
Plenty
positions,
Meadow.
but some are just dog shit. It's just like you just put it in a spot. There was no thought whatsoever. It's like
Yeah,
what?
you can't move 'em.
Yeah, you can't move them fast enough for it to mean anything. You know.
By the way, just a note here. I wanted to make a comment again. I don't know if you've noticed the last couple battles here you've been watching, the defending team is winning handily.
Oh,
So,
I've been watching these casualties too, man.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. This is the action thing. The action thing is still making, especially on Pride 4, there's no cover. You're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, you got a 500.
You've given more tickets to defenders. It's crazy.
1652. Holy shit.
Yeah,
that's a disaster. And it's like, and then the last two, Blood Lane was like that. They won by a whole morale state. Again, that's another map that gave defenders more tickets on. Like, dude, if you're basing us on pubs, I think you're fucking insane then, because these maps are already pretty. Like, Pride 4 to defender bias. It is. So is fucking Bloody Lane, and so is most of the other maps they put in. Not most of them.
By the way, guys, my game just crashed. I'm gonna put it back up though. That's why you're seeing a black
Hell
screen
yeah.
there.
All that work on the new PC, huh?
I mean, yeah.
Hey, man.
No, that's good. But yeah, no, it is fucking strange, dude. Like, if you're based on pubs, I mean, again, every time there's a pub match, every time there's an update, and we go watch the pubs like they always say they do, we see everything immediately what the issues are going to be. Oh, weird. 5-second update. The entire enemy team, or the entire teams are making one gigantic line with all the flags. Huh. No one can shoot anybody. Oh, look, they're doing a giant team charge. Hey, every time someone doesn't do a giant team charge, they fucking lose. I wonder if it's going to affect the meta at all. And then, it does. That continues to be the case. Hey, the Axie update came out. Hey, look, no one's making lines anymore. Everyone's spreading out an independent fire from pieces of cover. That's weird. I wonder if that's going to be a common thing. And it was like, it's a fucking common thing. But they don't acknowledge it. I don't know. They say they base all their change off the pub matches. And you watch them, like we will watch them, and we can see that everything has changed. And they just do not acknowledge it. So I don't know what the fuck they're looking at the time. The line battles aren't common that much these days, because if you do, you get fucked out if you're bunched up. Now maybe this newest weapon sway thing might have made it a little harder to do that. Didn't look like it today on fucking Prior Fjord just now. They beat the fuck out of
that was
team.
I mean, it was like it wasn't even a 350 server, to be honest with you. It was like it was between 300 and 340 something. You know, so it's not even maxed out at 400 right now, and you're getting 1,600 casualties. You know,
difference. It's 500 difference, right? And that's the defending team sitting in a place, shooting guys in the field. So obviously, their little accuracy change, the weapon sway in a smaller side picture didn't change that much, right? I mean, that seems pretty. I mean, that's okay. That's one match, but we'll watch the next. The bright fucking. I remember the Blood Lane cast, but the morale state was crazy, fucking in favor of the defending team. And
hello everybody.
Who knows why? Hey, what's up, Jack?
Coach, are you still streaming?
Yeah.
Oh goddamn! I didn't think you'd be holding on this late.
Well, it was an interesting conversation, yeah.
Is this another map they fucking up the?
Oh, let's look. I believe it is. Now, they didn't do Pride 4 that we just looked at, but I believe they did for here. Let me look.
It was probably, I remember it was probably something. I could have been Rob Pride 4, but either way, the actually change still makes that map fucking horrible.
Slight change. 5% for defenders.
On Pride 4? That's crazy.
No, nothing for Pride 4. Progress Mill, 5%. Nothing for Pride 4.
Man, I don't know. I don't think they needed it, but fine. Sure.
Are we talking about ticket balances? Because that's what me and Coach now.
It's not about everything, though, but just in general. But right now, yes, ticket balances specifically. Them being higher on maps that I don't think need them. I don't think Pride will need a buff.
They're fucking terrible. Like Piper Farm did not need 12%.
12% Piper Farm is actually criminal. I don't understand that at all. I don't know what they're watching. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, do we want to go through each one and give our judgment?
Sure, fuck it.
Coach, you already heard all mine. I had a 20-minute break in work, and I spent the
Hagerstown's probably a good idea now with the stuff. That's not bad. They just need to change the map boundary where that wood line on the right side can't just be only entered by the Confederates, and that map would get infinitely better just on those 2 points alone.
100%.
Cornfield's probably fine. Eastwoods, I mean, yeah, they lose most of the time. To be fair,
I think I'd take a 12% on East Woods. I think that's fine.
Nicodemus Hills are probably a no. I don't think they needed the buff, dog. That map
That was
sucks.
dumb.
That map sucks to attack. Bloody Lane definitely don't need 10% buff. That's crazy. I don't think Fire Shield need 5%. I don't think that's worth it because I think, frankly, they already have cavalry and shit and sharps in the mix.
As long
and
as he's
the
good
cap
at
point
it,
is basically
actually
an
doesn't
open
matter. It's just a
ground
game.
anyways for the Union team, for the most part. It does. I don't know. You can win it as the attacking team. It's not unwinnable, but I think it was fine balance. I think it's gonna make it very, very hard. I mean, look at the cancers already in this match. It's been fucking 5 minutes. They're already down almost half morale state. So I don't know what are they gonna do, right? Anyways, I don't. Burnside Bridge maybe. Oh, Dunkard Church 10%. Westwoods as well. Westwoods probably. Dunkard Church I would say maybe not. Because Dunkard Church, you only lose Dunkard Church, frankly, if you give up the woods somehow. I feel like a lot of people can win Dunkard Church.
Yeah, I don't think I would have changed Dunkard. Maybe like a 3% bump, like a very slight.
A little something. Yeah, 10% a lot. That's gonna make it hard. Keep in mind the extra update changed stuff too, right? Again, open field sucks, dude. You can't do shit.
Yeah.
BJ, I mean, I often see Dunkers get won by the Union. I'm sorry, by the CSA. I usually see CSA win Dunkers. I wouldn't say it's I would say probably Union more often, but I've seen it quite a few times. It's the woods, man. It's getting into the woods can be tough.
I think Burnside Bridge actually did need a 10% buff. I'll be honest. I rarely see CSA win that match. It's usually a massive fuck up if
I discussed this with
CSA win.
I think. Okay, I think you got to do one of two things. They updated the boundaries and they increased CSA tickets. I'm gonna be honest. I think they only should do one of those. Because now when you do both, now when you go Union, you cross the bridge right after you just got your ass lit up, and now they can just charge out your flags, and it's pointless. So I guess that's great. That's pretty cool. And now they have more tickets to do it too.
Cook's counter right similar, I think. Is,
and yep, they are changing the boundaries, like you said, BJ. Cooks, what do you think about Cooks 15%?
I think they've gone too far. I think Cook's counter charge is now much more winnable with the extra change they did because it's hard. It's all open ground. It's pretty hard to get on point and sit there for any amount of time. So giving the defenders 50% more tickets is kind of crazy. And then they made it harder for them to move around that map, the attacking team, by lowering the boundaries a little bit. I think you could have got away with a 5% on Cooks, and that would have been fine. 15% is aggressive, dude. I'll be shocked if the attacking team wins if things are equal, like in terms of performance. Unless somebody's making massive mistakes, if they just sit behind point of that hill and wait, what are you gonna fucking do about it? Like, you can't do anything. You can't. You got to charge them out, and that's over open ground, and they have tons of time to shoot at you. It's a disaster, I think. Cooks might be one. Honestly, Cooks might be a sleeper cell, like worst one. I'll be honest.
Nowadays,
that might be fucking on now. We'll have to see, but it might be unplayable.
It's like
for the attacking team, especially again if we're talking about pubs too. I don't know, brother. Like trying to organize an attack at all is hard. Defending is pretty easy, anyways. If you're not being really stupid, that could be disastrous for pubs. In regiment play, I think it's gonna be very hard to win.
By the way, I did the zoom out because I've noticed when I bring the thing up, it's making the rate drop a lot. So that's why I zoomed out. But if you guys want me to zoom back in, just let me know in the chat. I'll have to figure out why the frame rate drops when I put the
I'll
thing
tell
in
you
there.
what also didn't need a buff was Roulette Lane did not need a fucking buff for the defenders. That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, Roulette is
wild to me.
Is a bit of a. What do you think about Otto and Sherrick 10%?
That's probably fine. That map's a lot. It's probably not the worst thing ever. That map's already a clusterfuck. There's not a lot of place for the defenders to hide anyways. So it's not horrible. That's probably not a bad idea. If they could also make it better by just making the map a little fucking wider or something, or change the perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting ground on the flanks that's not open. But I mean, I'll take a 10%. I think that's probably okay too. What do you guys think about Piper Farm 12%?
Fuck no.
That's fucking egregious. That is
dude.
Fucking terrible right there.
That map is that map's basically a coin flip, at least in organized play. You can fuck that map up pretty easily. And it's again like you can't go all the way down the fucking road very easily to flank anybody. You're just kind of stuck in frontal assaults against guys that have stone walls and a defilade on all fronts, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
so it gets disastrous.
And
River crossing is bonkers that they thought that they needed a 7.5% buff on. When have you ever seen anybody whip road across these days on a server that's populated? I haven't seen it in years.
I can't think of a time I've seen it. You had to play that so fucking well with the Artie.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it in fucking years. I feel like with my own eyes, it's crazy.
Yeah, solely I'm not sure, and it's interesting. So, my theory, again, this is just my theory. I'm probably fucking wrong. You'll notice something interesting. So I'm gonna put all three up at once.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if I was to, now we're into student mode here. So if I was to say analyze, what do you notice about these numbers? What can we tell about these numbers? What might strike you as interesting?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
I noticed that you guys didn't clip my QuickTime charge on Pry Forward, and honestly, I'm kind of mad about it.
Did I miss it? Oh!
It was very awesome.
Oh god damn! I love QuickTime charges. Shit!
It was like a 50-man QuickTime charge. It was beautiful.
Oh, I'm so sorry I missed that. I fucking love those.
No, it's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was like I looked at the clip when you were kind of like zooming out of like that final push charge the Union did when they were pushed off point.
Yeah.
That big wave crashing towards the USA was that quick time charge. It was pretty cool.
Oh, so I shouldn't have swung around. It's just
It was pretty dope. I did it last night too on Hagerson. I did like a 60-man quick time charge. It was fucking awesome. Listen, man, I'm just a big quick time guy. What can I say? I'm a big quick time guy.
No, I agree with you. So, Soldy, you saw it. Here's the first thing. Drill Camp is only 3 and 7.5%. All the other maps have other 5, 10, 12 different rates.
Yeah.
The guy who did Drill Camp is not the same guy that did Antietam. Is not the same guy that did Harper's.
Yeah.
The percentage.
I also feel they probably didn't actually. I bet you specifically they probably played a lot of like some of these guys they played a lot of, and then some they didn't play at all. Like anything at the 3%, that's probably they probably played those in check or something.
Yeah.
Everything else seems like it's unique. Give them 5, 12. They probably played Eastwood. They probably played a lot of Piper Farm. They probably played like Coach Counter. Anything outlying like that, they probably actually played. I think a lot of stuff they just like went, I don't know, let's give them 5. Right? The Garland Stand, that's insane to me.
No, all the South Mountain maps are all 5% defenders. Now they left 2 out. They didn't touch. What did they touch on South Mountain, which is interesting? One of the fucking worst maps in the fucking game.
Yeah, which is weird to me. So
Hatches is just fine the way it is.
Yeah, wild. And Colcourt's defense is also apparently fine. Which again, I think.
Oh no, they switched. No, they switched Colquitt's. But what didn't they switch? Coxes.
Oh, you're right. That fucking horrible map.
They didn't change Coxes for the goddamn attacker. Probably one of the worst, not the worst, but one of the worst attacking maps in the fucking game.
Yeah, and I don't know why you wouldn't give hatches and a bonus. Oh, why? Yeah. Also, why is it only defenders? Like, why would you not check everything? There are maps where I think attackers need more tickets. I think Hatches is a great example. I think Cooks is a great example. I think River Crossing, you should have gave the attacking team 15% more fucking tickets. Like, that seems insane. If you want them to be played a little, Barlight's Camp at 10% defenders.
I'll buy a camp for 10%. I'll be honest. I'll buy a camp for 10%. I don't know.
5 might have been fine.
Dude, I've seen that loss so many times, man.
Yeah, I mean maybe it's usually because somebody's fucking up.
Well, I mean
we won it pretty bad. I mean you're right. It's easily accepted, but you can win it pretty fucking.
I mean, if you told me 5% instead, I wouldn't argue with you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Redoubt. Camp. Camp. You're right.
Well,
no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
Redoubt. Yeah, Redoubt. I could have done with that. I was like, really, Camp? Not 10%? I was like, okay.
No, Camp definitely 10%. Camp definitely need to camp, and they definitely need a bouncer Dustman too. Camp is rough. That is true. I'm so sorry. I was thinking of Redoubt. Redoubt's. I don't know. I mean, 5's probably fine. That's probably okay.
I think Washington Street 5% too. I'm not opposed to.
Oh, downtown 10% defenders is criminal.
Oh, I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, no, 10% for downtown.
That's absurd.
Yeah, no way.
That's not even a fun map to play, but like it's if you play it, it's just a suicide charge from main from the rebels over and over again. You give the defending team more tickets. I haven't seen rebels win that map. Maybe ever. Maybe in the last like 2 years. I haven't seen it happen. All you do is sit there and wait.
I do wonder about a camp boundary adjustment. That might be an interesting thing, BJ. And then
camp would be big.
Yeah. Tweak the defenders because they tend to stay in line throughout and don't get put out, so it gives you a more stable platform to tweak. I don't know. Maybe IB. Diffuse. I called you IB. I don't know why. Well, you're an IB. That's why. I don't know. I don't know. Again, it was only defenders. That's what they did, and then it's again, I have a feeling they didn't actually get to some action here on the game. I don't think they actually looked at drill camp at all.
I think they just put a flat one because that Fleming's balance turn 5% is insane. Also, that's really bad. That map is hard to win on attacking game against anyone that has a brain. They needed to give the attackers this 75%.
Yeah, I also don't think they tested South Mountain.
I don't think
5% flat. Everything is crazy.
And again, they don't touch coxes and they don't touch hatches, which is insane.
Yeah, which is like you definitely didn't play those fucking maps, dude.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, the fact that coxes was not given even like a 5% or like a 3.5, whatever the number is, that is criminal. I ain't gonna lie to you, because coxes I have almost never seen Union win for like a solid year and a half.
Ever since the Action update, it got really worse. It got really, really bad. I haven't seen one win since the Action update came out.
I haven't seen barely any pub wins, and I have almost never seen an event win on that map too. It just.
No, again, it's like I think they're just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. That's what I mean by that. What I mean when I was telling someone like they just do stuff, dude. They don't care about anything like in terms of like feedback. They're just doing stuff. It's like, oh, we'll just let the devs know when things aren't work out right. I'm like, why? They don't care. We let them know all kinds of things don't fucking work right. They don't give a shit. They do something else. Next time they're gonna say, you know what, guys, we have a really bad problem with the wagon wheels on all the artillery pieces. We update all the artillery models. Like it could be anything. It could be anything. There's no sequential like, okay, so we did the defender update thing. Okay, all right, cool. So now we're gonna retweak those next update, and now we're gonna add some attacking tickets and say even out. No, it's gonna be something else. Oh, we're changing the boot textures on everybody. Like it could be anything. Last time it was okay, guys. We made accuracy changes, right? All right, cool. Now we're doing tickets again for some reason, but we're not gonna fuck with the accuracy. Like you're not gonna refine the accuracy. You nailed it first time. With that much % increase, you crushed it, right? No need to look back at it. Weird to me. Like there's no iterative design here. They put something out and they do something else different, and they might come back and check these out like in fucking a year again, and do ticket changes again. It doesn't seem to make any sense to me.
I'm not sure if you're serious or not, Filthy Mike. You're gonna have to let me know.
Yeah,
50 minutes. No, you're not serious. I was like, wait a second.
No, we talked about this last night. Actually, me and him were fighting. Like, it's just like, dude, we can't fill a 400-man server consistently. Why the fuck would anybody want more? We couldn't fill a 350-man server consistently.
I mean, no. Again, it's a Thursday, so Friday we do have work, but there is no competition. There are no events.
Yep.
You just did an update. This is where we're at. Was it 7 p.m. your time right now?
8 p.m. 7:30 PST. Yeah, and then like what, 10?
Yeah, so it's like 10:30. Yeah, it's 10:30. So this should be your prime time. This is it.
Yeah.
This should be your prime time right now. This is when all of NA is going to be on. If at any time they're all going to be on together.
And you haven't broken 300 yet, and it's like, dude, stop making the servers larger. 400, maybe leave that as it is, huh? And let's never touch it again.
I think 400 is perfect. Is fucking amazing to have 400 players playing a server together.
Oh, it's a technical fucking marvel, frankly. That again, this detail can even sustain that. It's not that's impressive. Don't get me wrong, but it's not realistic that that's ever going to happen right now. You have to do things to get new people in and keep them in. You're getting new people in sometimes, but you're not keeping them. So what's the point of making the servers larger? Who's maxed? What server is getting maxed out at the 300 players?
Hey, Pineapple. I mean, the 500 was, again, I'm never going to say no to it, but again, it's a question of can we actually fill those servers, which gets us back into that whole earlier conversation.
The 500 player server was also a dev thing on a sale, and for a week. That filled up maybe, I want to say twice. I saw it fill up. and then it went back to normal pub stuff. As soon as people stopped, like I think some people didn't go to events to like go check out the 500 player curiosity of that many people on the server, and that was cool. And then the next week they went back to what they were doing, which is events, and that server went back to being 300-ish people.
Yeah, no, pineapple. I'm not saying pubs don't max. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, okay, we're at a Thursday, and this is again just a point in time. There's other times it maxes, but right now, after an update, we're at 273.
Yeah, it was during a sale.
Yeah, it was during the sale. But again, when we look at the average player count, it didn't sustain it. If that's so, here's the problem. Could we have a 500-man server? Yeah, and I think that's great. We could. That'd be great. But the problem is, okay, who's managing it, and can it actually sustain itself outside of a sale? I'm not as convinced, but I think 400 is a good pop size, and I could be wrong. And hey, look, if we get to the 500 and it's filling up, I'll be happy to be wrong, and I'll be happy to be like, hey, it's working great. I'm just, there's some other things I want them to, work on to get that game into that kind of position. The main thing being the token and the map editor, token, all those kinds of things that I think can sustain the game a little bit better.
Being able to tweak around settings for like tickets and accuracy and stuff like that would breathe so much in life in this fucking game. You couldn't even fucking fathom it. It'd be insane.
Yeah.
If I could change.
Oh, it did hit 400.
We'll balance it for you, man.
Diffuse. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. So it did hit 398 at Pride Ford at one point, but then dropped. But then again, okay, so it dropped. So
Yeah, they're probably getting their the whole thing got their ass kicked by a huge mark. I would quit too, probably. Like, I'm done today. My team got murdered in an open field for fucking 40 minutes and got beat by 600 cash difference. I probably would take a break. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, man, they should really be fucking trying to work on balance, because I think balance keeps pop high. If they were trying to make the maps actually balanced and make the game itself balanced, and close games are great, dude. There's nothing better than a close game, and that's coming from events too. You get a close game and you win or lose, no one feels bad about that on either side.
No, and I think you're right. Diffuses, the trolls, and that kind of gets to your point. The trolls' losing streak aren't helping at the moment. Yeah, because nobody wants to play when they feel like they don't have a shot.
Oh yeah. You get on a team they've lost what, fucking 4 games in a row, about to be 5 right here. I wouldn't want to stay on the Union team at this point. The Union team's been attacking almost every map too, and they're getting their shit rocked because A, it's just hard to attack in a pub match, and B, the accuracy update makes it harder to attack. Period. And now you got a lot of maps with more tickets for the defenders. This map being one of them. Good luck, dude. good luck, champ. Figure it out, I guess. I don't want to. Yeah, that's gonna kill. That'll kill your server, right? That's why. I mean, that's the thing. Like, and a lot of games do that. A lot of games, you have a server. I mean, it's a popular game. So you're playing squad or something. Somebody puts it on fucking, I don't know, one of the shitty maps. That server can just be killed. Because I'm not playing this. I'll go join a different server. I'll fuck off. I'll do something else. I'm not playing this dog shit map. Kind of the same deal. If you have maps where they're just so unbalanced and they somehow get played and they're so one-sided, you'll lose a lot of people right after that match.
Well, that could screw up HDC or events then.
Oh yeah, this is why we ban maps. We have maps that are banned in events because if we play them, people just won't want to keep playing. Like they won't come back. We keep playing River Crossing, you won't have people coming to your event. Oh, you play River Crossing, more than a couple times, a fucking year basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of that. I mean, okay, we could go with this pineapple as far as the historical, okay, a side might have an advantage on a map, and I think that's kind of cool. Okay, this map is kind of, in this direction, because, hey, they won it or, went a certain way historically. I think that's a fine thing. But again, it's you have to balance, unfortunately, on gameplay, too. And it's not easy okay, it's still got to be fun. And you still got to feel like you have a shot, so it's okay. It's how do you strike that balance? It's not easy.
And also, to be fair, they also balanced these maps back when the server pop was way lower and the guns weren't that accurate. They've now tripled the server population, at least in theory, and now the guns are 60% more accurate. So it throws a lot of shit out of the fucking map, and they haven't even touched half these maps again. Like, Cox's push is egregious, dude. No one's going to play that map. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, it wasn't designed for this many people, and that guns are that accurate. They designed the game for a different type of game, basically. They designed the maps for a different type of game than it is right now. They haven't updated the maps yet. And it sucks, dude. A lot of these maps are just, frankly, just not fun to play anymore. And not to mention about the historical stuff. I mean, there's no reason why any fucking Harper's Ferry map shouldn't be balanced, if that's true, because it's not historically accurate for it to even be a battle in the first place. And there's some maps Harper's Ferry where it's a joke. High Street's a joke to defend, downtown's a joke to attack. There's no two ways about it.
Hey, now
they're not balanced at all.
You leave my roundabout camp alone, all right?
Roundabout camp.
I don't remember the whole name. Pullover Heights Redoubt.
Oh, camp's pretty rough too.
Yeah.
But like the worst ones on Harper's Ferry are High Street, downtown, and maybe Shenandoah Street.
I'll be real with you. When I first joined the community, I played like the same 5 or 6 maps of Antietam every time I got on. I thought that's all there was.
The CSA's a buff on. Is that for South Mountain or Harper's Ferry?
I don't know why, but that was all I ever saw. And the first time somebody switched it to Harper's Ferry, oh, I was so moist. It was amazing.
Dude, listen, they can beat fine maps. They just
no, I know, but what I'm saying is every map pack you got your shit maps, and everybody knows those shit maps. You go take a break, you come back. You know, it's just a common thing.
Yeah, but you kind of want to avoid people taking a break. I think is the point.
I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, maybe from a marketing standpoint, but I mean, who doesn't want to play your game all day? And then you're gonna need to eat. You're gonna need to, use the bathroom. You're gonna need to, do certain things. So yeah, I mean, I expect.
No, but going from like what they who said someone said 400 players are probably for it, and after that complete shellacking, this pop 270. That's rough, dude. That's not just okay. We're all hungry. That's man. I don't want to. I'm good today. I think, and that's bad for your game's health if you want to keep people, invested.
Oh, is that Pineapple? Yo, Pineapple. What's up, Pineapple?
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean that's all I got. I mean that was it. Like you want to keep games. If you keep the maps balanced and keep people playing the game conservatively, that's going to keep people more interested to continue to play the game like long term. Like
or you can just be an enigma like Pineapple, right? Always there, always watching, always waiting. So that's why he's making that comment in the stream. But no, I mean you're right. I mean each map pack's got its problems, and they fail to see them. And I'm not saying this from a dev standpoint. I also think the community is very split on certain things. You know what I mean? Like some people, like the number of times I've selected a map in certain events and people got very salty with me, only for us to deliver a win because of that map choice. But nobody ever wants to admit like, okay, well maybe you're right, maybe it's a skill issue, and stuff like that, or maybe it's a planning issue or a team issue, stuff like that. Man, they're committing war crimes over there. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was watching that. Yeah, I mean it's it's a very interesting dynamic because there's people that play this game and there's some leaders in here that play a lot, like a lot. And really know these maps down, and that's kind of why I love that drill camp for like the first 2-3 months, and still now, because it's like it's something fucking new, and it's like okay, because there's this need. Okay, well we know the meta, and we need to do the meta, and maybe there is a meta, but then it's like okay, well I can't think of anything else. Like well, why would I do anything else? We know the meta, and that's that's what usually I see the arguments being down to. I don't know if you would agree, Brisby, but I'm like I love having new maps to be like okay, no one knows what the fuck's going on. Let's figure something out,
Yeah, well, and I know I'm sitting in a different events Discord, so I'm not going to do a shameless plug and plug my own event. But
go ahead and talk about SSL.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to talk about it for a minute because this is something that in our preseason, postseason era, between the seasons, we have these conversations. We talk about different maps. We talk about how do we want to change. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we want to. Maybe something got a little stagnant. Maybe something got a little stale in the last season. So we're going to discuss it. We're going to figure it out, just like we do in campaigns here, right? And part of that discussion is talking about how do we select our maps. We've done everything from, me and Hood would be in a room, right? Theoretically, of course, because he's not in my event. But, say he graced, graced us with his presence there. If we were to sit down together and it was our token on the first season, our token night, he would pick a map, I would pick a map, he'd pick a side, I'd pick a side. The second season we had a ban list, right, and it worked, in a sense that, in the original part of the season before we got to the tournament. By the way, it's a competitive event, tournament based. But when we were in that part of the season, there was a ban list and there was a structure on how we picked from that list. You would go out and rank it your way. I'd go out and rank it my way. Whoever won the coin toss got to go first. And then it would go down the list. So my first ban would be gone, your first ban would be gone. And at some point in time, we would align to having 2 maps, right? Because we ran out of bans. We were stopped crossing each other out. So the last 2 maps that are there are the maps that we play. And then this season, we were talking about different things. We talked about wheels, coin flips, all sorts of stuff. And part of that discussion, why I'm bringing this all up, is part of that discussion was there was a very clear divide in the room on what they wanted to, like, people are getting tired of playing the same maps over and over and over again, right? And especially at the event level, it always happens. There's that 1 week where I swear to God, you play Colquitt's 20 times. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that 1 week where you're playing that particular map over and over and over again. And that happened a lot. You know, we played the same map multiple times, not back to back, but pretty damn close, and it felt like that. And, you know, some people, they wanted that because those comfort maps are what allow them to win. They're in it for the competition. Other people, to me, competition, and there was others in the room that felt the same way. I want a challenge. I want to have some obscene weather condition. I want to have some type of weird time of day. I want to have that map that statistically says I'm not going to beat you, and then I beat you. Because that, to me, that's the cherry. I don't care if we make it to tournament. You know, from an AVC standpoint, I care about, you know, playing against these very competitive units that are very skilled, you know, strategists and come up with really off the wall plans, you know, and then they think they have a sure thing, and then suddenly they don't. Oh, I love that. And I think that that's where a lot of people, there's a divide in the community on what makes a good map and what makes a bad map, and I think there's a divide in the community in the sense of what is worth I mean, yeah, sure, running across the bridge on River Crossing can be annoying. I've had some of my most fun times in this game doing that. I could tell you 10 people would say the same. I could tell you 25 people that would probably tell you no. You know what I mean? So, like, there's this weird divide, and nobody ever acknowledges that divide. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the other thing too that devs could do too, and not just from a pub standpoint or event standpoint. Poll your players, dog. Like, if you really want input, poll your players. The people who played every day, or even the guy who just joined for the first time, poll them. Be like, hey, I want to know how you feel about this map pack. Tell me about this map. How do you feel about it? You will get every form of perspective. The veteran player who plays all the damn time, has no life, doesn't know what grass looks like. You know, you're gonna get the perspective of the guy who plays, you know, casually, maybe 3 times a week. You're going to get the pubby's experience, you're going to get the Reggie's experience, and then you're going to get the guy who just bought the game's experience. And then you can use that data to analyze yourself and go, how do I fix this? Not do these drastic changes, or maybe they're more minute sometimes, but they have drastic impacts, and then don't change it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Arrowhead does that. The guys that make Helldivers, they have polls all the time about stuff. They poll everything all the time in their giant-ass fucking Discord, and they make changes accordingly. And guess what? Nobody hates that fucking game. No one's pissed. There's not an update that comes out. People are like, what the fuck? This sucks.
Except the Chinese, but that's a whole other.
The Chinese don't like it. Yeah,
there's a whole like that happens. But I won't get into all that.
But they're not getting fucking they're not getting yelled at or people complain every time they pop out. Every time update out, it's a fucking treat. Everybody gets back on, and they play it, right?
Yeah. I bet you guys enjoy CSA River Crossing on the Arty.
Yeah, dude, I freaking love it. Put me on French. Oh.
You know, like they talk to people. They're asking polls all the time about what do you guys think about this idea? How do you feel about, like, they're like, oh, hey guys, is ragdolling like too much? And people went like, yeah, 6%, yeah, a little too much. They lowered it a little bit. Hey guys, or the robots shoot too many fucking rockets. Okay, we've now given them an ammo supply for every unit that fires rockets. So you suck getting ragdolled, and the game got better. People complain all the time. And guess what? The game's better. Everybody likes it. It's getting better and better all the time. And these guys do the opposite. They make a change, people complain, and they disappear, and they do something else. They go to change, doesn't look that good, they complain, they do something else. It's fucking insane to me. It's a schizophrenic way of developing a game. You have all these people, you have a Discord, put a poll up as a rough baseline if you want to talk to individuals, or just ask people, I don't know, dude, fucking goddamn it, go check events out and watch, and then get and talk to people after an event happens.
Well,
whether it's a pub event or not.
I mean, I'm hoping Cody will lead him in that direction. I'm hoping.
I hope so, dude. He's played the game. The difference between Cody, I think, is that he's played the game, and he probably knows equally the same type of issues that we have all had for the years. Because, you know, he makes YouTube videos. He knows that he can't hop in a pub server, right? He knows why. He's not going to do it. If he has anything to say about it, and if he does, it's going to be edited. He knows why. That's a problem. He knows what fucking maps probably suck and don't suck from playing the game. Maybe not recently, but he probably knows a little more than the devs fucking do at this point. He's led lines. He kind of gets it. He has more of a grasp on it than I think other people have. And he's a lot more approachable. So, yeah, that would be nice if he'd be like, hey guys, I think they're fucking serious. I think actually they got a point. Maybe we should fucking figure it out. Maybe we should stop fucking doing weird, random, conflicting updates every other month, and then in a vacuum, and then let it sit there.
No, I think he's still got that open invite to HDC, and I imagine SSL would invite him as well.
Oh, entirely. entirely.
They come anytime they want, you know? Like, you know.
It's always
you
an
know,
open door.
It'd be nice.
Well, if I have the space, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of looking forward to the 400-man server, because man, we pushed that 350 pretty hard. I'm not bragging. I'm being dead serious. I meant to bring that up earlier. Like you had said, like what event does that? SSL. I'm so serious. We have that problem, and especially, you know, we've grown. You know, we've added new units this season, and you know, in my head, I was like the maths. You know, we had one leave, and we had a bunch of others join, so I was like the math still maths. We should be fine. But then I was like, you know, there's always that token night where, like, say, again, I'm just using it as an example because you're here. Say 42nd was an SSL, right? And it, you know, yeah, they bring the same amount of numbers almost every night, but on their token night, they're gonna be balls deep, right? It's gonna be a lot because it's their token night. Everybody shows up for the token night. On those nights, those big regiments that we have, they'll bring a lot. Even the tinier ones, the mid-sized ones, like myself, we're gonna bring a lot, and it maxes out the server, and it's a problem. You know, and how do you address that, right? You don't want to tell your people like, oh, well, you know, sorry, you can't play. But at the same time, you're like, well, you know, it is what it is. It's the limitation of the game. So that 400 man, that's going to solve that. You know what I mean?
That's fine. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not saying it's a
I
bad
think
thing, but
no, I'm not. I know you're not. But what I'm saying is, I do think that's probably the first thing they've done from an event standpoint. Not an event, not because it wasn't intended for events, but unmeaningful or they didn't mean to is what I'm trying to say. English is hard, y'all. They added something that does kind of favor events.
Maybe I should change this to a Spanish screen. That might improve a bit.
but yeah, no. I mean, I think that it'll be beneficial for us. I think in the long term too, because even HDC, we pop off with pop. Sometimes it happens. You know, we'll have those bumping nights,
surge.
right? Yeah, we surge, and so it'll help. But that's the thing. How long is it going to help for?
Yeah.
People keep growing.
I mean,
by the way, Pineapple, I would agree with
you.
you absolutely that balancing in pubs makes sense. I wouldn't balance off of private events because you introduce outside factors.
Yeah.
But I think the point that Hood, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, is not so much to balance off of private experiences, but just to see what the privates are looking for in gameplay to drive updates.
Yeah, I'm not saying literally, hey, let's balance, you know, off of a fucking a match where we had no bayonets on, you know, because you can't. I mean, the European events like UEC and the ATR, you can't balance off of those guys at all. Our event, it's competitive, but we have cards that make things. We have other consideration like campaign that's going to make people make different choices. You can't do that either. I mean, the best thing you could try to do. You could try to base off like a tournament type event, but then again, even then, you have team compositions and personality issues, and you know, I mean, it's hard to do that. But like in terms of like what the community wants, the whole regimental private community, that's pretty uniform. There's not that much like, you know, difference in what people want for the community. They want fucking admin tool. We want admin tools, huge. That's universal. We want map boundary changes and things like that, and that's easy. Those are easy things to do. They already have them. They could do it. Other than that, like, I mean, yeah, maps would be fine, sure, but whatever. I mean, I don't know if they need to be new maps, but maps, if you let us, you know, change the map boundaries, that could be enough to make it different, like something. Like,
Some maps
but like, yeah, weather is huge. Like, being able to change the seasons is another easy layup that everybody wants. Would be nice to have for a little bit of variety. The biggest issue you have, a lot of events, why these events even exist, is to add variety to the game. Because the game itself, fundamentally, is stagnant. Because it's the same maps over and over. I would not be playing this game without a campaign. That adds context, make people act and think differently on these maps. You just try to play the match normally, you're gonna do the same shit every time, over and over again for all the maps in the game. There's a lot of maps in the game, don't get me wrong, but you'll get through them long to play, and then it gets so boring to play. And they need something to freshen up. Anything. It can be weather. It can be let me change the tickets. Let me hide. Oh god, I would love to have an option to go back to the ticket bar not being able to be seen, because that changed so much shit, dude. This game got a lot more stale when everyone could see if they're winning or not directly in detail. Because you had people that thought they were winning, they're pressing an attack. Oh fuck, we went down a morale state. We need to back off, whatever. Or the team that's losing thinks they're getting their ass kicked, and then their morale state goes down. Like, oh shit, we won. We can do a counterattack now. Let's keep, you know, the mental. You know, I mean, that goes out the window now. Everyone's very careful and calculated what they're doing, which I don't think is as fun. That would be a huge change to have. Spawn timers might be a thing to do if you can change accuracy and stuff. Like, you know, and that's all stuff that's in the game. They've already done it. They can just turn it on. It's not like they had to do new stuff, right? Yeah. That's the entire private community. The community upholds the events and keeps the game even remotely fucking relevant. wants all that stuff, and they've been saying for years, and they do other shit that nobody asked for.
Yeah, I would say the 3 updates that I had issues with, and still have issues with, although I made peace on many of them. One was what you just mentioned, the spawn timer. I thought the game was much better without it. I thought it was much more dynamic. It led to more interesting things. Now, it was harder to explain to new players what was going on, but I thought it was a lot of fun. And if it was an option, I would have no issue with it. And again, it's not a game breaker, obviously, for me. Second was the flag spawner. I had a major issue with that one. And I would argue we're still dealing with the repercussions of that. All these other balances of ticket balance, of changing accuracy, of
all based on 5%.
It's all been built off of. And again, maybe the 5% wasn't itself wrong. No, I mean 5-second tickets wasn't wrong, but just being implemented in, okay, where was the server size? Okay, 300 versus 400. I would argue a 400 server makes a lot more sense to have a 5-second than a 5-second on a 300 or 250, which is what we had at the time. So, again, it's at this point it's caught up, and okay, I give them a little bit of leeway on that. As again, if I had a final vision for what the game is, but maybe they don't want to commit to that. Got it. And the other one was when they restricted. The other update was when they restricted us being able to turn off unlimited NCOs and officers. Those were the 3 that I personally had an issue with, and even again the flag, the timer at the top, whatever. And we found ways around the other ones, and it ended up being fine. But those were the 3 updates that I personally had an issue with. I haven't had an issue with any of the other updates. Some I've been neutral on, and some I loved. I love drill camp. I love the fucking winter. I fucking love the fall.
I love the winter.
I love that you got the snake fences, and you did that. I was like, that was a great update with the drill camp thing. I'm actually a fan of Conquest mode. I
also like Conquest. We're in the minority on that one, though.
I am absolutely in the minority on Conquest. I am absolutely.
Conquest was one of the best ones because it made everything.
Yeah, I know people. I know people don't like it, and I understand why they don't like it, and they have very valid criticisms for it. Me personally, I find at least commentating and playing it a lot of fun because it's so dynamic. It's different every time.
Besides, you have to make your choices correctly, and also the limiting NCO thing that happened like years ago. The outcry was universal, and they actually recanted on it, and people were fine, and it stopped happening. Right? They don't do that anymore. They don't renege on it. I think they didn't like that they had to fucking go back to it, but it ruined almost every event. Right? Every private event turned this shit off because it didn't matter, and they're like, okay. So listen, we'll turn it back on. We'll revert it, but then we'll set up an actual in-game menu option for this stuff so it's not like a weird drill camp bug thing. Never happened. They never did that UI thing to make that an easy quick option, and they probably never will because they don't. I don't think they like that they had to do it because people. I mean, I made the post about it back in the day, and that was one of the most unanimously fucking talked about posts. And
that would be a better mode. Diffuse. I agree. That would be. It would improve Conquest if they made it like RS.
Dude, Diffuse State. That's a great fucking choice. We talked about that too, and hey, let me see my own at least. Okay, I might have a good idea of what my morale is, and that might change my way. Okay, that makes a little more sense. No, what the other guy is detrimental. That's insanely fucking bad. If they actually were concerned about historical whatever the fuck and making things clear for new people, you don't need to know what the enemy's at. You need to know what you're at, and your obviously know kind of what's going on, and you listen to him. Okay, you're not supposed to fucking. Not every private's gonna have complete knowledge of everything in the game right now. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not the type of game, right? I don't pop into a brand new player in squad, right, and know how fobs and logistics and shit work. I have to learn that by playing the game, right? Yeah. I think that would be a great compromise. Okay, well I know my team's not doing good, but I don't know if the enemy is. I'm going to trust my officer to know if they're winning or not based on his experience, and I'll learn by proxy. And then if I want to lead in a pub match, I can do that whenever I get the chance, and I kind of have an idea. But yeah, having it both makes the game so easy and so stale and stagnant. It bums me out.
The stages for me, back in the old days before they showed this, man, if you thought you were losing and you went up a stage over them, holy shit, fucking Discord's blowing.
Dude, the hype was real. Yeah, the exhilaration, and that's realistic too, dude. If you think you're losing a battle in real life and you hear some the enemy fucking left flank exploded, and you might be like, oh shit, we might survive.
Man,
it's the same kind of.
That was back in the day when I was leading, and it was I'd have discussions with my guys like, what do you think we're at? I was like, I don't know, man. I think we're close. And then it would go, and I'm like, yes, we got it. Or be like, hey, man, I thought you said we were close, and it's been 10 minutes, man. We've been in the show. I was like, I guess I'm bad. I'm fucked.
Yeah, do you talk to the officers? Officers like, hey man, how we doing, guys? We're doing okay. How you guys doing? I don't know. I think we're doing okay. And like you try to get like a vague vibe, like I don't know, we winning the battle, and that's so fucking fun, and realistic. And it's gone. It's gone forever. That experience doesn't exist. I've never.
Yeah, and that hype when you hear unexpected or above when you expected, hearing the huzzah, it's like yes, we got it. We're doing it. Now it's just like, well, I know we're gonna hit huzzah. I see it. It's there
now, and we're winning.
There it is.
And it makes the game worse because if the one team is losing badly, they know it. Their morale tanks. They don't play as hard. Or they want to be more reserved.
No, turtling as a strategy is a direct result of that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, it's 100% accurate.
They should never be able to say, hey, by the way, next charge, we're going to put up the last
cap.
Yeah, we're going to put the breaking when I put them in the breaking cap point, the chaos of, holy shit, we just want to charge and put them in the break, we have to go to point right now. Right now, stop, whatever we're doing, everyone run the point. And they're like, oh shit, we're going to lose, we got to run the point. Turns into a gigantic clusterfuck of like desperation. Because no one was ready for it. Because you can't really be ready for it. You can kind of like, if you know you're wiping multiple dudes in a melee, you can, all right, cool. We're probably gonna go breaking. We're gonna be up on them here in a second. Let's get ready for that, and that's cool. And you could be right. Sometimes you were wrong, and things would be different than what you anticipated because someone else getting killed. You don't know about it, and that was awesome. Gone, and that update sucked. And people still want that change. People even recently have been talking about taking that back, and they don't want to do it because again, this is all about the new pub players. They didn't know what's going on. Why, dude? That didn't increase the fucking people that stayed around and played. I don't know what fucking month that was, but it did not spike the fucking player base. Not tons of people didn't fucking stick around because of I could see the morale state, right? The same issues that kept people from playing still existed. You still had random shitheads screaming slurs all the time in a pub match. You still had officers that were just either dumb or annoying or whatever the fuck, and there's no moderation. It's chaos. Even now, like, you gotta think about it, right? I'm a new player and I pop into the game. I still have to ask what the fuck any of that means anyways, right? I don't know what the fuck that little ticker thing actually fucking means, right? If you're just looking at it, it's not like a ticket counter in any other game, like Battlefield, where I see the number and I know that's my spawn points. It's the bar that says a thing on it. What does that fucking mean? How many morales go? How does that work? Why is everybody screaming? You still have that same fucking question, so I didn't really fix that issue either. I don't know.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you guys because you're having good back and forth and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm a bounce. I gotta go do some meeting stuff. So
yep.
Glad
having you, Brisby. Always fun.
Yeah,
from the ABC. You're looking for.
I appreciate
later,
you.
Briz.
Yep. President of SSL. If you guys ever want to check that out, feel free.
We'll see you
Plus,
Saturday.
is shameless. But yeah, if not, I'll see you guys on. Yeah, no, I know. But I'll see y'all on the weekends
on the
regardless.
battlefields for the Health Divided campaign.
Yeah, 100%, y'all. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night.
Later on, pal.
He's gonna bring a squad with him.
I'm gonna stay.
Dude,
I mean, I'm probably,
really hope.
I'm definitely. This is definitely the last map for me. So.
Yeah, no,
we're
wrapping up.
yeah.
Hey, funnily enough, is this a map they added the new tickets on by any chance? Because
Pry House. Let me look.
Interesting.
I don't think they did.
Because this map, they're getting their shit in, and the Pry House is actually pretty hard to win defending. If they don't, there has to be something here, right? So that's a pretty obvious map where attacks have a pretty good advantage.
Pry House does. Pry House does not have an update.
You're fucking kidding me. So they just didn't play these things, man. Pry House was another cool example that needed a defending buff. They didn't get one, and this is another.
No, I would say this is one of the maps that could have used a defense buff. Yeah,
it really could.
I mean,
10% would have been fine. Holy shit! What a friendly fire! Did you see that?
Yeah, I did, man.
Oh my god, that's all friendly. That's crazy. Dude, I just don't think they're playing their game enough. They need people to test for them, honestly, and give back reports.
Oh, they got Bradley in there tonight.
I'm wondering, like, where the fuck do they get these statistics from? Is it pubs, or do they just like go on a fucking?
Dude, it's not even. I think it's just vibes, right? There's Bradley. Yeah, he's in there. I think they're guessing off of. Like,
it might be. It might have been. They might have buffed in, not told us, but I mean, they told us with all these. That'd be weird if they did all these other maps and they just forgot this one. That'd be kind of weird.
They do some. I mean,
it's possible. Like you said, they shadow fucking patch or ghost patch. I think is what Diffuse called it Artie all the time, so.
All the time, and then we've known that. They've changed the velocity in artillery a couple times, and Madison knows, okay, all the calculate we did for fuses are no longer the same at these ranges, and they didn't say anything about it. So they changed shit again for no reason, which is, again, why? Why would you not tell anybody that? That seems like an odd thing to not report, and they do it, and we know they do it, but I don't think they would.
It's bad.
Off the tickets on this map and not tell anybody. Well, this map needed one bad. This one needed one for sure, like a 10% buff.
No, I think this one absolutely could have used one. I mean, to be honest with you, CSA's kicking ass though.
There's a factor that like maybe the CSA team is because they have been winning, keeps people on, and the Union team has been losing, is getting people leaving and new people coming in.
Oh no! Wait a second. Why am I thinking CSA's defending? No, CSA's attacking on this map. No, Union definitely could have used the fucking the buff on this one.
They need it bad.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed that buff bad. Now again, it could be that the teams are bad, right? It could just be that the Union team is just particularly shit, getting their shit.
I mean, it's been a rough couple games for them. So you know there is that.
By the way, because of that, look at the pop. I don't know if that's a time thing, but I mean, there's got to be some correlation.
Usually I see it kind of fading at this time. Sometimes it stays up, you know, but usually I see it starting to fade around this time. But again, that's you know, I'm not on that often at this late, so.
I think I mean they could, you know, what they should do this map, move the point a little farther back for Union because it seems a little bit weird ass position.
They could do a lot of things that they could make Eli's maps better.
Imagine if the point was down here instead, at the crossroads, and imagine you had
up in the woods, something like that.
You had the woods and the house, and look at this redoubt you have here.
Be fucking good, man.
Yeah, that would change a lot of things for sure. I mean, they could push it back just a little bit to that fucking that little they could push it halfway up between the house and where it is now, and then put the spawn.
Yeah, like right about there, and the spawn goes up to the fence there, you know, and maybe up to here, you know,
it'd be nice. That'd be an easy change.
As opposed to all the way here in the middle of fucking nothing, with no strategic anything. It's just the point's here. Why?
Right in the middle
because
of the road.
It is.
Why? I don't know.
If I'm a commander, I'm either fucking.
I swear to God, man, I think that point is as close to this to the rebels as the Union. Sometimes I get that, like, it's like you spawn up the road, run up the road. You can. I feel like it's the same almost.
Well, this is. I mean, I don't. You know, I'm not a fucking Civil War historian, but isn't this a fake battle? This was just a headquarters.
Not real. That's a headquarters. Nobody fought here. It's all made out. They could have put it anywhere.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's not. You know, there's no history to this. As far as putting a point in the middle of a fucking road, this is a pure game design choice. There's no historical piece of that at all. There's nothing like, okay, well, they fought on this road. Like, no, none of that's there.
The history thing I hate. They don't. It's not. There's no consistency in it. I hate when they say that shit because they said it for conflicting ideas. They used to say the accuracy, because people complain about the accuracy being low along, like this gun I point and I shoot and it goes nowhere is annoying, right? But they're like, well, historically speaking, we designed it this way because you'd probably be a draftee right now. Most of the guys in the Maryland campaign didn't really have that much training, and they weren't very good shots. So we've designed it that way. And then they said the same thing for when they upped the accuracy, like, well, historically speaking, these guns are mechanically accurate and they should just shoot where you point them anyways, right? So, you know, we changed it. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make it. That's just literally two conflicting ideas and using the same justification for both of them. So it's not, you don't actually care about that. It's a different thing. So maybe don't use that. Because again, if you're they said something about, they won't add certain, they don't want like, they said like, oh, we won't let people pick their own regiments. That's another big one, by the way, community-wise. Let me pick the regiments on a map. On both sides. Huge. They're like, oh, we can't do that. It's not historically accurate. And then all Harbor's Ferry's made up. And every conquest match is made up. And they have random units on that one, but we can't pick them on that one. Wild. Joe Camp's made up. Right? Most of the battles in this game now are made up and not real. So why can't we pick which regiments are on which maps? We can leave it up to the default. Let's make a default and then let units on servers pick them so we can have some control over it. It would be cool to pick, hey guys, we're fighting for this, you know, like so in our scenario, campaign-wise, right? Okay, this unit's attacking. Okay, this unit's now attacking in the game. I set it so the first company is this unit. That's just neat. Okay, that can just be a fun thing to do. Why not? You let us do it on Conquest. It's a random thing every time. You could make it, the code is there for picking something for a side. Let us get a drop that menu and do it ourselves. They could do that. They won't, and they refuse to for no fucking reason. There's no downside. Conquest specifically, you literally have. It's in the game. You have it pick randomly. You could make that a user interface where it's a drop-down menu and I pick the fucking units. No thanks. Get fucked.
So, yeah, when Bucketball used to be really overpowered, if you got that shit on Conquest, you're like, oh, well, we already got an advantage. Because, you know, the Union's got, what, 3 units that have it? 4?
Something like that, yeah.
And, like, Confederates, almost every fucking unit's got it. So, like, when
Yeah,
Bucketball
back
was
when
great,
Bucketball was
that
rough.
That was a
Yeah.
fucking massive problem. Like, hey, let's play CSA because we're guaranteed Bucketball pretty much.
Everybody want to play fucking CSA because 80% of them have Bucketball. Bucketball is overpowered as fuck, and that's not, by the way, not historically accurate even to the fucking the battle now. This is early on. The CSA was not churning out mostly smooth bores, man. Like a lot of them had plenty of infields and springfields around because they were winning the war at this point. Had captured a bunch of shit.
I think one of the things you could do, just remove weapon selection. Any
Oh,
rifleman,
they used to have that. It used to be to get a random weapon. That was cool.
and now that evened it out. So not every fucking person in the regiment has an 1842 or.
Well, it used to be a fun little like, hey, I got a blah blah blah, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah, yeah. That could be that was a solution they had, which was fine. Like I'm not opposed to letting you choose the weapons, but like, I mean, I think the nerf to Bucketball, by the way, for the action update was a great choice. I think that was a good choice. Bucketball overperformed like a motherfucker, which is why I think the accuracy update is fine. They just put way too much gumption on it. I think a 25% buff roughly.
No, again, I think
60 to 90.
The accuracy,
insane.
Yeah, the accuracy I think could have been fine. I think it was a little bit too much. But now they're changing other things. So again, it's always in motion. You know, it's okay. You know, where are we at now? I'll have to wait and see a little bit, but.
No, they're always trying to counterbalance the thing they did the last time. 5-second spawn timer came out. Oops, let's add 200 things to every map because people are dying too much because they're getting charges. Okay, well, now that we did that, we need to make guns more accurate because people aren't dying very well and charges suck. Okay, actually updates too much. We'll add a weapon sway and make the sights harder to use, and I guess we'll add 10% tickets to defenders, whatever.
Well, defenders had nothing to do with that, but sure.
Yeah, they're constantly trying to chase their own fucking tail to get around, like, you know, the last change they made, because they didn't really do it in a way that made it. It's not like a comprehensive thing. They did one thing in a vacuum, and they didn't seem to anticipate it affecting other things, and it does negatively. And they're like, all right, cool, let's fucking let's try to counter that, and that breaks shit.
But that takes them like what, fucking 3 months minimum.
It takes them 3 or 4 months to do it, and that breaks on. We got to make whatever they're gonna do now. There might be a dude, who knows? Well, they could have a buff where it's like, all right, cool. And we know we made defenders rough. We'll make they could be like, okay, the attackers spawn closer to points or some shit. Like, who fucking knows, right? Try to counter that. It could be anything.
Look at them. You can't miss if you want it.
It's just constant, like, as a campaign, we have to constantly relook over maps because they fucking change ticket balances every fucking update sometimes, and then they add all these new things that make certain maps fucking terrible.
There you go. It's our time. Hell yeah.
There's no way they're doing enough testing to balance every map for these updates, or the average of them, because there's too many maps and there's not enough of them to do it.
Well, you really can't get a good test on pub anyway.
I mean, in the sense you can't. There's a lot of factors in a pub that can make a map bad. Like, for example, if the Union team is fucking off in the corners getting shot at a line, it's not really representative of the map. You need to look at both. You need to look at organized events and pubs and try to find an in between, because organized events are going to have different issues as well, where, like, you know, people are fighting close quarters and stuff. Yeah, but are there other considerations? Are they playing a type of way? Are they limiting something or whatever? Like, again, campaign wise, they're probably acting differently because there's an effect after this that has long-term effects, right? So they might not play the same way, but you'll get an average. You know what I mean? If you watch pubs and organized events and find out which maps are fucking dog shit on both, you probably have a map that's fucking broken, and maybe you fix. Cox pushes that in every event on every pub server everywhere. Maybe fix that one. River Crossing. I don't think I've seen the pub Mets win River Crossing. I've never even heard of it recently. So maybe don't do that one, huh?
Devs are listening for Cox's. Instead of changing the tickets, how about we just fucking open up the map boundaries a little bit?
That could help too.
There's a fucking cornfield on the Union left. I think.
And a nice woods on the other side.
It's like,
which is why I always forget the name of it. That's one of my favorite conquest maps. Wheatfields,
hey,
yeah.
Can I ask, why the fuck did we ban that from HDC? Can we please bring that back?
What map?
Wheatfields.
The spawn points are not evenly distant,
Okay.
so it gives one team an advantage over the other.
Okay.
I love the map, so if we want to bring it back, I'm not going to argue with it, but, you know.
I love that map. It's fucking awesome. I mean, Artie's good, infantry's good. Points are, I mean, not.
Where's Roy? Bro, we're gonna push up. We're gonna get aggressive and push up.
Anyway, like, same with, like, all we discussed this 600 times. Hagerstown, fucking open up the woods, man.
The woods need to be opened up
Let the
badly.
fucking Union get in that shit. That
Either you need to close it off from the rebels, or you need to open up the Union. You can't have it where the rebels can hide in there. It's just not fun to deal with. It's just not a fun thing to do. They can flank your entire fucking front lines with impunity.
And you can't do nothing about it. I got to watch happen.
I got touched.
Dude, I'm surprised the Union even came back in this match. This is crazy. They could lose anyways, I think, but not a bad comeback from the boys. Oh, I don't know, man. I feel like every update is like the same points get made up. Well, they need to communicate better and test more and stop being so fucking obtuse about shit and like catty.
They should, I think they could update map boundaries on Hill's counterattack. Open up more the high mountain. It's fucking hard to like be cramped in there like that.
They could update a lot of things on a lot of maps, frankly, and it would be fine. But they have to want to actually check them. Otherwise, it's pretty arbitrary. I don't know how, like, it's odd to me, like, I don't know how they reach their conclusions. Is it from playing on their own enough? Like, or are they listening to other people? Like, is it a sense that they get from just being in a line and running around with no, while talking to other people? Like, because they don't talk in game. You never hear the devs talk to each other, or anybody, if you ever happen to see one. They don't speak to you. They don't interact with anybody, really. Not in-game anyways. And then, you know, they make a change about something. And it's like, what do you base that off of? Your personal experience, or, like, data, or testimony from random pub people you've heard? Like, there's no, like, clear and common way they're making these changes, because a lot of them just don't make any sense.
Like you said, said it some other day, like, oh man, I just fucking blacked out. What the fuck?
You got it, champ. No pressure.
Well, I think this is, I think we're kind of at that, they could salt the bones. I wish they could salt the bones. You know, we could get the turtle shells out here, do some I Ching if you guys want to.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
That might make more even fucking distribution of changes, frankly. They actually just randomize it at this point.
Alright. Sorry, before
like my poor conquest last season.
That's what it said a while ago. Like, these maps boundaries were designed when what, there was like 250 man servers, 200,
150,
150,
75,
75, 75.
There wasn't 300 people around. There was room to maneuver. Now there's fucking nothing. Sometimes.
Nope.
Like,
no room to maneuver, and if you get in an open field, you get murdered. This is another great example. I think this map is fucking horrible for, like, it's just, you can't, it's just a murder nest up the middle, which I guess is not the worst. It's not the worst map, like, right? You can go pretty far right and pretty far left, but it's all in the open. It's fine, whatever, but, like, you know, some maps are way worse. It's like, dude, if you open every map up a little bit more, it'd be a lot more interesting.
Drive forward, there's some room to move, considering some.
Yeah, well, this is one of my favorite conquest maps too. What is it called? Farmland or whatever.
All the city maps
it's good.
All the city maps are fucking rough with harvester, and that is trying to fit 200 people on each side, and that is just fucking rough.
Or Limestone Bridge. I think this is Limestone Bridge. My bad.
Limestone Bridge, yeah, because you go down that way.
Limestone is.
Oh. Again, Burnside's right down that fucking hill, and across Burnsides is fucking is auto and share. You can make a game where you fight from here to Burnsides to auto and share. And then every time you cap a new point, you spawn up there. And if they take you out,
and beyond that is hills. Right beyond
hills.
that.
You can do hill. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
One big fuck. There it is. You can see it right there.
There you go, right there.
And roulette lane actually is back there too, someplace, if I remember correctly.
We technically could roll up fucking roulette lane, roulette lane. We can roll all the way up to fucking Nicodemus.
Yeah, and you do a map like that where you capture stuff and the spawn points move, and then you could have cavalry and you get total artillery, and the game will be fucking fantastic. No new maps needed. Just link the ones you have. You don't need to do anything else extra. You have the game mode. You made it. Just add a little more extra with the fucking spawn points, and put cavalry in the game, and you could have a game that would be what the game was marketed as being in the end with the big brigade battle mode. You can do it right now. They could do it tomorrow.
We'll give credit to this Union team. They fought to the end on this one.
They fought back hard. This is that's not a bad defense, a counterattack. They were getting their ass kicked, and they got tickets back, and they're really sending it up the road.
I don't know if I've asked here. I've asked this to a couple different events. Like, so for an example of Miller's Cornfield, I said, what would you guys think of, like, I don't know what you'd call it, maybe zone of control, where there's not really an attacker or defender. There's kind of a whoever holds the point longer, it's like kind of like Conquest where it reduces the tickets, but it's not like capping a flag. It's like a point of contention. Just whoever owns it eventually increases ticket decrease. How would you guys feel like?
I mean, the problem with that is we tested that on our own in Conquest ones where you only have 1 point on. Whoever gets there first is going to win. Most of the time. Mills Cornfield, you might be able to, that's like the one map where that won't be the case probably because there's all kinds of ways to move around. But especially now with the accuracy update, if I get to a place and I get to sit there first and get a shot off at you and shoot you as you try to make an attack, and the tickets are even, right? You're not going to win that match or game or battle.
Because I mean,
because the only thing that stops the defenders from winning every game is they have less tickets, for the most part. Otherwise, it would be a 1-to-1 fight. The defenders are going to probably win because they could sit there.
And also a little different from the conversation. Did they? I didn't see anything in the update. Did they update the sword as well? Did they buff that?
Not that I'm aware. No, they should buff it in what way?
You noticing a change?
I'm noticing a change. Like yesterday, it was I think Westwoods or no Eastwoods. Sorry, wrong map. I swore it like moved quicker. Like it moved 10 times quicker than it usually does. And I was like, what is this?
The attack?
Why is it doing that? Yeah, it's a regular sword. I was just a sergeant major with a sword that spawned in. And I was a little confused. But I don't know if they buffed it secretly or not, but I might just be crazy and I need somebody else to check
it wouldn't
that
be
out
the first time they've done stuff like that.
Sometimes the code just gets a little weird too, you know.
They still haven't fixed pistols, by the way, which still suck. And are way worse. They used to like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
To be fair, a couple matches ago, the artillery guys, they were one-shot with their little blades. Did you notice that?
Oh shit, no.
Now I don't know if the 3 guys that charged them might have been hurt already, but 2 arty guys took out 3 infantry guys with their blades with one hit.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I mean, they might have been hit. Who knows? But
might have been a glitch.
Might be worth a test to look at.
Defense buff.
But
guys,
I will say it is. It's getting to that time where I do need to be getting off here. So I will. Yeah, I know. I gotta get up and actually do something productive. But I'll get some stuff from the bottom of any outros or any final thoughts. Starting with Mr. Zach.
Oh shit, it's me first. Devs, if you're listening, A, open up map boundaries, and B, please fix your fucking ticket balance on some of these maps. Some of them are good, but God, some are terrible, man. Thank you.
Mr. Vilcott.
Reiterate, hopefully if the devs, if you're listening or watching, some of the stuff we brought up, yeah, and if you're watching this video and you're used to playing pubs, join one of the regiments. I guarantee it's a whole different experience.
Yes, if you're looking for a reg, just leave a comment, and I will, not tonight, but tomorrow, I will leave a Discord link to all the unit leaders that were in here tonight.
The 17th Michigan and Midwest Parade's a good regiment.
I'll do it. I'll do it tonight.
Kotow.
I'll do it tonight before I go to bed.
For the swords, it seems maybe a little quicker, but I don't think it's anything too noticeable. If it is, it seems about the same.
Okay, I might just be tripping balls then.
That's always possible. And since you were there, Mr. Tater, any final thoughts or pitch for ABC or whatever you want?
I didn't really talk much. I was more listening into the conversation here, adding a little bit of details like the sword, and honestly, that's really it. But yes, I am Tater with the ABC. My final thoughts, basically, it just seems like most of the maps are starting to get just CSA favorited. There was a notice that a lot of the maps, or some of them, were already CSA favorited, but Emerson's just taking a balance, man. Like, the last map was a good example. Fly House, they really should update that for Union favored, or upgrade the defenders tickets. But with this new ticket update, a lot of it has just become favorited for the CSA even more. So I hope they do fix some of the maps on that aspect. And I don't know about y'all, I actually don't hate the Redfall update from a couple weeks ago. So that's really all I had to say. So
Cool. Appreciate it. And yeah, Bryce, no, it's tough being in Australia. I'm not sure. I know there's some Asian regiments out there. I'm not in that. Brisby, I think, is actually, though. I think he plays...
Kai from 1st North Carolina Sharpshooters. I know they do some Asian shit. I don't know them very well though, so I couldn't tell you if they're.
Yeah, I don't know that half of the thing, but I know there is on Saturday a Oceania timed event. So it is
They have
out
a
there.
Discord link somewhere in the I think in the main Discord in their event stuff.
Yeah.
They have a Discord link somewhere. You can pop in there and look around.
Yeah. So actually I do have a link in this thing to the main Discord. So if you check in there and check for the event links, you should be able to find that event and find out what units are there if you're looking for one.
Depending on your work schedule, I mean, it'd be 10 a.m. for a NA event. It would be obviously terrible for you, but I mean, if you get time in the morning on like Saturday or Sunday, you could technically run it.
Yep. And then leaving with Mr. Hood.
Yeah, man. Listen, the devs, again, you're probably not watching, but if you are, the community doesn't actually hate you. Like, we just wish we would listen to us a little more and at least, if not that, at least explain like what you're working on, what the goal is at this point after, 8 years of development, like what the end goal actually is, and that would help alleviate a lot of your stuff. And maybe, just tell people what you're working on next would be another easy thing to to gauge stuff. Because I mean, I guarantee you, man, if you put the hey, we're thinking about defending or changing tickets on these other maps, you'd probably get a lot of feedback on what maps really needed it, as opposed to just you guys kind of, I don't know, guessing, I guess, or whatever you guys felt was that way. That would be nice. Just let people know, man. The community wants to help. They're still here after all the bullshit over years and years. Same people playing this game over and over and over again, year after year. Like utilize that resource, dog. No one's out to get you. It doesn't make any. We paid you money. Like I don't. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my piece as always. I know I like to complain a lot, but it's coming from the point of I like the game to be better because I'm mad at all the other bullshit. Sometimes you have good updates. Zero Cramp's a good update. I had no complaints. No one had any complaints about that. You've had good ones before. I like the XP thing was probably fine. You know what I mean? There's good ones. Just talk to your community.
Trust me, it doesn't make sense until you realize we're still bringing money into this game for devs because we have referrals constantly from people that play our units and bring their friends in. They buy the game. They buy the game. Another friend buys the game. I had 2 today from just referrals.
True.
People buy this game hearing from their friends. Trust me. If you don't, if just because someone buy the game doesn't mean you're completely lost on them. There still might have more money coming in. I already got my friend in. There will be more.
Yeah.
Well, with that, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna add to Zach. Yeah, I was one of those people. So like, a lot of the referral English, that word, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of it does go in. Like a lot of people are those type of people. Like I said, I was brought in, or I got told about the game by a guy named Tron. He doesn't play as much anymore, but as you can tell, I'm still very active here. So that's the point of the game. Like everybody, they're still making a lot of money, or quite a bit, and that's what it is. It is what it is.
You get a friend group in here, holy shit. You're making at least 120 bucks. Campfire, come on. I have one guy rolling, he invites his fucking 8 friends. Oh, there you go. Fucking, you're rich.
Well,
they all play one game. They're like equivalent to pubs, but you just gain 240 bucks from one person, basically. Trust me, you're still getting money. You just gotta keep putting out good updates. It'll work out.
Yep, and I think if you want to, I think as Hood said, I would agree. Give us a little bit of a roadmap for the year. If I'm looking for a model, I love what KCD2 did. And then if you got surprise updates, you got surprise updates. If you want to leave things like the special events as like you did, I think that works just fine. But if you had told me, hey, we're working on map balancing, map boundary changes, and weather, updates, which I think is all great. 2 or 3 months ago, I think that would have been like, hey, cool. They're looking at some stuff, and you would have gotten some other feedback. But it's up to you, and I'm still enjoying it, so I'll keep watching it. But anyway, it is about that time. So thank you all for watching, and we got a bunch of events this weekend, so I should be able to cover some. So keep an eye on the channel for that. And y'all have a good one.
Later on, everybody.
Later.